Ladies and gentlemen, class is now in session. X's with the O's starts now.
You have to plan. You have to have more plays on the goal line for sure. You just don't do the same plays over and over again.
You lost because your coach sucks. He is so dumb. It is ridiculous. It takes a fourth down to get it up under.
X's with the O's, feeling coach emotional. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. X's with the O's.
We're going to take 5 plays and take down the comments.
All right, you got to look at this.
X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. Yeah, welcome to the show. X's with the O's, father and son. Pops used to coach, Phil used to run. He'll burn you like toast. Determination in the heart, football in the soul. Breaking down the tape, keep you on your toes. Smash mouth up the gut, watch close like the front row. Blue 30 gay, hut. 3-step drop, can't rely on the punt. Scoop blocking, hard knocks like instrumentals. Coach O preaching footwork and fundamentals. If the O-line blocks hit the second level, dedication to the game is all mental. Dash pass of the outside zone. Got a max protect, blocks feel right at home. Trolls in the blog, boys leave your cleats at home, cause this is our red zone. Yeah, X's with the O's, feeling coach emotional. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. X's with the O's, feeling coach emotional. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know.
What's up, everybody? It is a beautiful Saturday morning here in the United States, all over the world, everywhere where you're at. I'm sure it's beautiful in the afternoon where our producer is over in beautiful across the pond, England. The Chicago Bears have a new coach. This is a show each and every week, a coach's clinic, where we break down the tape to talk about the truth on the Chicago Bears. We do this like nobody else. And today, our two guys, Shane, the smartest man, Marsa, and George Berlissimo Bayless, had the brilliant idea, that's how they would say it in England, brilliant, to go and show everybody what we do on the patron side on Saturdays. Brian Dean said the weather is crap in England, so I apologize. It's been crap here too, Brian. Trust me. But seriously, today we wanted to open up our show to show you exactly what we do when we're breaking down the truth. Now, today, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you saw me go hard and heavy at one of these blog boys writing an article about David Montgomery, saying he's, what was the term he used? He's insufficient. And he's created a stat, some sort of ranking to prove it. So I read this article because about 500 of you patrons and fans of the show talked about it, sent it to me. So I'll be truthful. I didn't read it. I just read the part about the stat that they created, and I had to address it and undress it for the stupidity that it was. And this is what we do to prove it. Good morning, Chris. We prove it with the tape. So obviously I got amped up about that because everybody and their brother knows how inefficient that kind of blog boy take is versus the tape. I've had my father. I've had Berlissimo. I've had former player. I've had Steve Edwards, Olin Kreutz. I've had players from other teams talking about David Montgomery and how elite he is to do what he's able to do with the lack of toughness offensive line, the lack of a play caller who understands rhythm and proper use of personnel. And we could go on and on down the line. And we will get into David Montgomery this offseason. And all of the Bears free agents will be the focus on X's with the O's as we prepare you for what Ryan Poles and Matt are going to do with this football team going forward. There's a new era in Chicago Bears football. We're going to talk about some of this stuff today as we look at another thing in this football blog boy world.
What are the whys, right? What are the whys? And so when we all understand what the whys are, whatever that is.
I'm telling you, how stupid is that?
Show them the why. Show them the why.
Show them the why versus what is the why. See, one is asking a question. The other is having an answer. Our culture. I'm going to show you why we're going to win. I'm showing you why. And those things are different, but a blog boy, a negative Nancy wants to throw this out there as some sort of conspiracy. That word why became, oh no, it's Mad Nagy. No. The same people that are knowing and making this a thing were the biggest Nagy supporters. Now all of a sudden they've turned coat. We've never supported a coach, Nagy, here on this network after 2 years. When this network started, it was the second year or third year of Nagy. So we knew we were asking why. Why is Nagy still the head coach? So Eberflus is bringing his why for his culture, his foundation. We'll get into that. But today, I got two guys with me, obviously, that I love and appreciate so much. And we're going to give you the why. Again, this network stands on the why. Why are the Bears in a better place than most people think? Why does Khalil Mack now become even better than he already is in this 4-3 scheme? We are going to show you why, not ask. I don't put up a stat to try to downgrade Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack with his hand in the dirt. Let me pause. Let me save it because Berlissimo is going to knock this one out of the park. My father, Coach Atoshin, is going to knock it out of the park, and we're going to get into this. So this is what we do every Saturday, breaking down the tape. And, guys, we're going to have a surprise coming up, so you're going to want to stick around. Real big surprise coming to you. What's up, Felipe in Brazil? Brazil. That's the chant. That's the only thing I know about soccer, George. There he is, my boy. George Berlissimo.
Man, better not talk about soccer, Phil. It's not what we're here for. It's although it's what people accuse me of all the time. I'm English, and therefore I only know about soccer. So
George doesn't focus on soccer. He focuses on the.
It's not my game. It's not enough hitting.
And that's why I love you, because this is my guy, my producer. All the tape cut-ups, everything we put together here. This guy walks step for step with me. We debate. George is not a yes man. We come in together, but one thing we both agree on is what we're going to be breaking down today. And we think it's important that fans of the Chicago Bears know, George, that this is a great thing for Mack and Quinn going into a 4-3 attacking.
Absolutely. It's right in their wheelhouse. So, at the end of the day, we ran 68% of plays from a forefront last year. So
exactly.
I don't know, maybe he's got a little bit of experience doing it. I'm not sure.
Don't you love that? Like a reporter asked, is Khalil going to be able to be handling the double chips and the double teams in a 4-3?
Well, yeah, it'll be less than the triple teams he's been getting.
Exactly. This is going to be a fun day breaking down tape and covering your Chicago Bears like nobody else does.
I'm doing well, Rick. Thank you.
Yes, George is here. TTNL is here. Guess who else is here? This guy's here. And
Bears fans, honestly, at this point, this guy doesn't even need an introduction. But guess what? We're giving him one anyway.
Keeping it 100.
Ladies and gentlemen, football is a game about what? That's right. Determination.
Determined by determination.
A Brooklyn, New York native. This guy would suit up at Lafayette High School under the esteemed tutelage of head coach Sam Rutigliano.
One time, baby. One time.
From there, he would head east to Mississippi Junior College and then on to the Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
And here are the Nebraska Cornhuskers roughing into Memorial Stadium.
Before settling at Trinity of Texas, where he was a starter for 3 straight seasons and became an All-American offensive guard. You still have some left in the tank, Coach? We need some offensive line help here in Chicago. After his playing days, this guy really made a name for himself at Lyman Hall, coaching the sport and the kids he loved in the stadium that now bears his name.
Filatoshin.
Bears fans, TTNL fans, football fans, get up out your seats and give it up for a guy so damn good, he made a junior version of himself.
They're running Patterson on a toss sweep gimmick. This is a coach that has no concept.
We are honored to introduce the former Walter Camp Coach of the Year, the Walter Camp Hall of Famer, the Connecticut Hall of Fame coach. He's our coach.
You got to load up on him or you go backwards.
He's Philip Otoshan Sr.
that's how you introduce Coach. You ready today? Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
The Bears have a new head coach. We got our coach. You've been consistently bringing it here. Obviously, we're live on all of our platforms today, not just our patrons. Our patrons understand we want to share the love of what for free. Yeah, to give everybody a taste of what we do here on Saturdays on X's with the O's. You obviously have experience in a 4-3 and a 50, or what they call a 3-4 defense in the NFL. But I want you, before we jump into the tape, which George is just, that's like Gronk spiking on this, is the tape. Let's, talk about Khalil Mack for a second there. You've been very animated about him and David Montgomery in regards to their elite status here. Obviously, I think a lot of these writers forget that Khalil Mack actually played in a 4-3 defense with the Raiders, was named Defensive Player of the Year that year. But needless to say, on top of that, he was leading the NFL in sacks before he was put on IR and finally got the surgery.
6.5 in 5 games?
6.5 sacks in 5 games. Then he was put on injured reserve and he's gotten surgery. So, Dad, talk about Khalil Mack, the player, though.
Well, he's got a motor. He's never going to stop. He's going to go all the way. But his technique, everybody has technique, but he has that step. He's like into you before you even know it. And he doesn't stop. And then he's got all these moves with his hands, and he's going to get to you. It's just a matter of time. You either got to double team him or triple team him, because he's that kind of dominant player. And there's no doubt about it. He can play 4-3. He can play a nose man. It doesn't make a difference. You put him on the field, he's going to play. That's my feeling about it. You remember that kid that we coached. We took him off the soccer team as a goalie, and he became all-state as a defensive end. when you got ability, you can teach that kid. So this guy doesn't need any teaching. He's just a great player.
And when you put him, George, in Eberflus's aggressive, no loafs mentality, guess what? Everybody's going to practice and play at Khalil Mack's level.
So that's the thing. That's the thing that I wanted to wax lyrical and effuse on a little bit was that despite the contract, despite the reputation, you don't see Khalil Mack Loaf. You don't see him let up. You don't see him give breath or space or time to think. For his size, and I'm saying this, it sounds incredulous. For his size, 260 pounds, he is stronger than people at 320, 330. Right. He can put you on the ass with a single one arm. Look what he did to Tristan Wirfs. Ran around him, slapped him down, got Tom Brady down, and did a hip toss. Bye, off you go, one arm. See ya. 340 pound lineman thrown like he's a ragdoll. These sort of unicorns don't come around very often, and I'm glad he's a bear. Him and Akeem Hicks, if we can get Akeem back, you want people that are going to fit that Eberflus flow to the ball, non-stop effort, no loafing. Those are the two guys that lead by your example. Him, them, and Roquan and DeAndre Houston Carson, people like that.
Yeah, I want to stay there on Hicks real quick because we got into a little debate on keeping it 100 with Cars and Shane, myself. Me, you, and my dad are in the belief system that Akeem Hicks is too good. And we're going to break down Akeem Hicks as one of our free agents. But since you brought him up, I think it's important that be somebody that you bring back as a veteran. He's a fit in any defensive philosophy. So, Dad, you've seen Hicks and we've broken him down. Is that a guy that should be priority to return even because of his age? Obviously, the price is going to have to be right in regards to
that's the bottom line, the price. Everybody realizes that guy's a great player, but what's the price? Can you afford him when you're thinking about all the things you need? But to me, he reminds me of this guy that, if I could put it in incense, he's the praying mantis. You know what I mean? He's got such a range. I can't believe that he could cover all the areas that he covers. He looks like he's not going to make the tackle. All of a sudden, he's in the tackle. He's out of position, but he's there. It's every single play. He's right around the ball.
Yeah. I swear some of that, coach, is him actually baiting people. Look, I'm out of position. Door closed.
Exactly. It's almost like he's just playing with people. And he's so long. Yeah, he's the praying mantis. You put him as an insect. We'll have to clip that and send it to him. But the reality is, you're right. He's got such length and strength. I really believe Ryan Pace, and obviously it came out that, and there's no script on our network. We're going to get into the tape in a second, but Akeem Hicks had a falling out with Nagy because he didn't like how things were run. So he was the one voice that was standing up for the team against it, that didn't have captains, that didn't name, players to lead the rest of the things. They had rotate. We all know the stories now because we covered it here on TTNL. So Akeem Hicks fell out of favor in a dysfunctional franchise. Maybe that's a sign that the new GM, who's looking for toughness, that's looking for non-loaf, aggressive, all of these things they talked about, then he's the perfect fit, right? Right? Yeah. So you keep that kind of homegrown. He's been here. Bring him back. I think that would be the smart move. And you obviously have some sort of negotiation ability because of his age.
Give him the Danny Trevathan money when we cut him.
Oh, exactly. Cut him and Eddie Goldman. Eddie Goldman's money should go to Akeem Hicks. Eddie Goldman becomes obsolete because I don't think he fits, George, in this new defensive philosophy. You can't loaf. You got to get penetration. You got to go 100 miles all the time, and Eddie doesn't do that.
He's limited to a one tech, isn't he, in this scheme, if at all? I mean, one to a 2. So either big and bigger inside. That's all that Eddie Goldman can do in that type of defense.
I like what Michael Dangerfield. I agree, Michael. I think when they sit down and they pop on the table,
Right.
George, me, you, and my dad.
Who are you going to replace him
week.
with that's better? Who are you going to replace him with that's better? Who's out there? Give me a name.
Exactly.
There isn't anybody.
No.
Anybody.
He got into it with the position coach and Nagy, Mike. I've got that verified because Nagy tried to step in and counsel, and he did not like that. So Nagy automatically sided with the position coach, who is wrong, by the way. But anyway, I can't share all the details. I could just tell you that, yeah, he got into it with Nagy too and told him to go fuck himself as he walked off. And all of a sudden, George, remember, he was inactive for the Vikings game.
Yeah, and despite being a captain the week before and all the rest of it,
Yeah, he was just a week before he's a captain. The next week he's inactive. Listen, before we start, I want my dad to. We're gonna go right into the Khalil Mack tape, but I want to show you a little bit about the head coach. I think this is very important. We've broken down Tunga, Miguel, and all of us. We broke him down on Draft Mob, and somebody we got to draft, and we hit on that. So let's just watch this. When the reporter asks, I think it was Adam Hogue asked Eberflus, and you, as a head coach, I want you to respond to this, and then we're going to get into the tape of Khalil Mack and why he's going to be a fit. But you've always said this, and you said it was Matt Nagy's downfall. Watch how Coach Eberflus answers if he's going to call the defense.
Do you plan on calling the defense as a head coach, or do you envision kind of overlooking everything and handing those responsibilities off to your DC?
And I do believe that to be the head football coach and be efficient at that, you are exactly the head football coach. So I can be involved in all aspects of the game. So the defensive coordinator that we hire will call the defensive plays. I will not do that.
So there you go, Dad. He is going to be allowing the defensive coordinator to call the plays. He's going to be involved, quote, in all aspects of the game on game day.
Bit of a change from everything goes through me.
Well, that's why you name a defensive coordinator. That's why you have an offensive coordinator. That's why you have a special teams coordinator. That's what they do. They're in charge. And when you don't do it right, you get fired. Let's face it. You're putting people there that you trust. But let me tell you something. The head coach is always the overseer. In other words, defense is called. He's got his headset on too.
Exactly.
He hears what's going on. No, you're not doing that now. That's the time to blitz right now. And that's what the call goes. He's the head coach. Don't you get me fired. Let me get myself fired.
That's it, isn't it, Coach? It's not necessarily taking hold of the wheel. It's steering when people go off course. So if they're not doing what you want them to do and how you want them to do it, that's when you jump in. And until then, you empower people. You empower people to do the right job. When they have those positions, believe me, they got to be so loyal. They really do, and they got to be yelled at sometimes, and it's got to ricochet off them like there's no hard feelings, because you don't understand what I'm saying, because you're going to be that way, and they have to know you too as a head coach, and all of these guys that he's hiring, they know him, so I'm sure they know what he's to be expected of him.
Well, that's why I wanted you. I thought that was a mic drop moment for the coach, as I've been around you and Sam and Coach Pasquale and all the coaches you've put in my life. Every one of them, to a man, recognizes you hire the offensive coordinator to develop the offensive game plan with you during the week, and then they run it. And when it's time for you to address it, you address it. No. This is 4-down territory coming up right here. So now the offensive coordinator knows we got 2 downs here to get 1. We're going to run twice or whatever it is going to be. So this is an important step of using the platform of a CEO of a team to hold everybody, including the coaches, accountable. I was so excited about that part and a few other parts that we'll have and discuss later in the show. But that being said, we want to get into the tape of Khalil Mack. Why is this guy going to be tremendous fit in what we do here? Here we go. Looks like we're playing the Super Bowl bound Bengals here.
Weird. We should choose
that
the first game.
Browns?
No, that's the Bengals. That's
Okay,
the Bengals,
okay.
and there's Khalil Mack, as you can see, sort of circled up. So we'll just we'll do what we do, and we'll let it play a little bit, and we'll start looking at where we're going. So you can from there, no pre-snap motion. So he knows he's got a tight end. So already we can see we've got zone towards. Okay, so this is the outside guy. His responsibility is to seal the outside, let him get on, and then go to second level. He's sort of looking at that outside. So let's let it play a little bit further. There's the handoff coming out. You can see already, to stop this, where is he going? He's going upfield penetration to where they want to move to. They want to seal him here. He's going straight upfield. Because once he does that and gets upfield, guess where he's got to go? He has to cut back into the pursuit. You know, we're talking about how it's going to fit Eberflus in the pursuit game.
Exactly.
Well, if you don't have this guy sealing the edge, making this dude cut back, guess what happens to all his pursuit? It's wasted because he just carries on the outside.
That's right.
So,
exactly, George.
And whilst he doesn't make a play,
stats, George,
whilst he doesn't make a play,
they don't do it. They don't. That's not a grade. That's not an A+ grade.
Well, let's say he didn't make the play here. You know.
Exactly. When you look at it, he's doing exactly what you need defensive edge to do. It's called contain.
The next man there is 10 yards off. So if he doesn't do this job, that's the next dude 10 yards further back. You know, so it doesn't look like much, but I'll tell you what, the speed of reaction off the ball there, you see, look, he starts taking an inside jab step, that right foot. As soon as he sees them zone towards, what does he do? He alters his he corrects it, splits the double.
Correct that angle.
Splits the double, wrong shoulder technique, you know, giving that wrong shoulder.
Look at him dip, too. He's trying to get under it. Get a hand out there.
If Mixon doesn't cut back here, he's dead in the water right here, you know, for a 6-yard loss? 5-yard loss, 6 yards. But we'll go to the all-22, and you can see it again because he's going to be on the left of your screen. So here he is, you know. Again, we're going to sort of see this sort of, you know, it's just a straight zone. That's the way it's drawn. It's a sort of a delay and then
now,
go.
Mind you, George, not to cut you off, as you draw it up, this guy's playing hurt. I've shared it on Keep It 100. I'll share it here with all of you. Former Bear John Jenkins spoke to me about exactly how badly injured Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack were last season. And they shouldn't even be playing, but they're out there, which made everybody in the locker room shut the F up about any bumps and bruises because these two shouldn't be out there. Well, Robert Quinn got healthy, and look what he did. Broke the Bears' all-time sack record. Khalil Mack played through it, was leading, as George said, through 5 weeks with 6.5 sacks. You saw the dominance. You're going to see some here. But then he's getting surgery. So he's playing hurt here still. Here we go. Sorry.
So this is the thing. Is off the snap, Phil. I mean, you can see off the snap, and it's good work by the Bengals because you can see, you know, a couple of them are taking full steps. Like the center's taking a full step there. That's not a zone step. That's almost a pull because he's swinging the gate there.
Yeah.
So that's bad by the center. So let's just say it like it is. Tackle does a good job. Those 71 does a good job. This tight end who's been getting some love lately, Adoma, he's doing the right steps. You know, and he's trying to give that shoulder to get to the outside. Tackle can't get there because, like we said,
look at
jab
this jab
and straight up.
I don't think people realize some people get scooped.
Look at the speed of that. Instantly sees the zone.
He reads that tight end.
Gets upfield, splits the double, gives him the wrong shoulder, bends towards the back, makes him cut back to the pursuit. And where's the pursuit? Right under ball carrier.
Now, the other thing is, Dad, he's reading the tight end. So watch the tight end. He goes up the field and beats that that right tackle's block.
Yeah, well,
unless your player gets scooped.
Yeah, he beats him by alignment. See,
exactly.
What happens is after he takes that jab step and then reacts to that tight end, the tackle's way out of position to make that play. He can't make that play.
That's the thing. An inexperienced player goes where that arrow goes. Khalil Mack takes like a half a step, instantly sees his zone towards, goes like that, and then bends around the edge. And that's the difference. That's what you get with him. So in terms of like, what do we need him to do in a 4-3? Set the edge. Check. Set the edge. There's your example. Does he make the play? No. But yes, he does, because he's sending it straight back to all those lovely fast-flowing linebackers. And
we're putting him in the mousetrap.
Exactly, Coach. And then everyone else, chasing it down, getting on it. That's exactly what Eberflus wants people to do.
Gotta hustle to the football. That's play one.
You know something? When people talk about it, it doesn't mean anything. But when you see what he did on film, when we saw last week, the pursuit and everything that was going on, I couldn't believe it. I mean, he's got those guys trained like high school kids. They are doing everything that he wants them to do or hit the road. I could see that one.
Yeah, you're talking about Eberflus.
That's right.
Coach.
That's right.
You're talking about his Loaf's mentality.
Come up with the Loaf's ad, and is there a particular formula on determining if a guy is loafing or not?
Yeah, so the Loaf system comes from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the 90s. So it originated with, Coach Dungy, Monty Kiffin, Rod Marinelli, those guys that were down there at that time. And they really started to detail it out in terms of what it means to have a loaf. So it takes a critical eye to be able to go through every single play to determine what that is. And we have basically 6 categories for what a loaf is. And I won't get into all the details of every single one of those, but one of them would be a change of speed, meaning that if a player is pursuing the ball, let's say it's a perimeter play, say it's a toss play, and he's on the backside, say it's a corner or a backside linebacker, and all of a sudden the play breaks out, he's running full speed, and all of a sudden he starts to slow up and the play breaks out for another 6 or 7 yards and he speeds back up, that's a change of speed loaf. So we want you going full speed, full tilt all the way through the down once the ball's snapped and then until the ball is on the ground. So that would be an example of what we're talking about in terms of running to the football.
So there you go. His philosophy on loafs. He's going to be grading each and every play after every game to look for the pride and holding people accountable. This is your job. We said this how many times watching the tape, George, saying, wow, how could they watch this same tape and allow number 4, we'll just use Eddie Jackson, to loaf or miss tackles? It was just constant. So you could tell they're not being held to a standard or any kind of
Both of the starting safeties last year, for the large part, were ineffective to abysmal. I mean, let's face facts. I mean, you line up at 15 and then you drop to 30 before the ball's even hit the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
You're not really doing much.
That's right.
To help the team. So
I think Early's 100% right, George. I know we got a lot to get into, but preseason,
going to be a lot of people
fighting. People are going to be fighting for jobs, running, hustling. Rookies want to make a team. It's about feeding your family. When you get back to the roots, I just really believe some of the foundation of what they're building here with Ryan Poles and Coach Eberflus, I just think
to take over the North and never give it back.
I think that's where they're going. To take over the North and never give it back. That's what you build the foundation of this hustle and never loaf to. Go ahead, George.
For me, one of the things that's already come across, and it's music to my heart and my soul, is the aggression that he wants to see, and the don't give people an inch, don't give them a second, don't give them a split second. Be in their face, smack them in the mouth, let them know that you're there, and do it with good technique and speed. And that it's going to be such a difference from, pardon my language, the shit show that we had last year. I'm sign me up for it. I'm ready. Ready to go. Like this dude here is Khalil Mack.
Spirit, so again, I have no idea what you're talking about. You completely are showing your negligence in any kind of film study. Khalil Mack was dominant these first 5 games. He clearly was injured and thus had surgery. I don't know what you're obviously you're one of the blog boys that has an issue with Khalil Mack, but let's watch the tape and then you can come up with your opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the tape shows. So one of the things I'd like to say is we got that sort of backside zone type action, where it looks like doing that, and you get the tight end coming around the back for that RPO type look. But as you can see here, we're up in press here. We've actually got a safety within 30 yards of the line of scrimmage. So that's pretty good for the Bears. Let the ball go. C73 trying to get an outside zone step on him, takes that left step, hard steps, throws his hands too early. Mack drives under and then starts getting upfield. Then we get the guard, think, oh shit, I better help out here because the tackle's already done for. And you got the halfback looking as well. And then because that stunt's coming around and Mack is tied up 2 already, and Goldman, who's not great at stunting, but that's who we've got doing the stunt, because why bother playing Mario Edwards Jr. on the inside, who is fast and aggressive and has 5 years worth of experience playing with Khalil Mack? Let's not do that. Let's have Eddie Goldman, 340 pounds of potato. Let's have him running the stunt around the outside. But anyway, you can see we get not only a single team, not only a double team, but then the centre turns towards him and we get a triple team. Roquan Smith comes completely free. Now, obviously, we got someone completely lost there. Ogletree's completely lost. You got, this defender who's sort of stuck between the devil and deep blue sea here. But Burrow's already making his decision to throw. If Roquan gets his hands up there, that's deflected. And we actually saw him get a pick 6 later in the same game. Burrow being Burrow, throws the right guy, takes the deep guy because we have that hesitation by the linebacker. Doesn't really know whether to take the under or over. You can feel him there. Kendall Vilder, who everyone seems to love to hate, he's already coming in and reacting and coming in to make the tackle and does, So, anyway, the point is Khalil Mack. What does Khalil Mack do on this play? He's running a stunt. He's running a TE. He's running an ET. So E first, T second. Edge comes in. Tackle's supposed to go around the outside like greased, like a ferret up a drain pipe. But there you go. He doesn't get around because
put it at the coach's angle.
We'll get there. We'll get there now. So the idea is come and take those 2, and then literally what you should be doing is sort of that as this twist. Who is that? I think that's Blackson.
It is Blackson.
Yeah. So what does Khalil do? Again, sees him sort of hard step towards him because obviously he's worried about speed with Khalil Mack. Takes that outside step towards him. I mean, talk about opening up the gate, coach, for a Khalil Mack. And it's perfect because that's exactly where he wants to go and wants him to follow. And he does. He's getting held now. So there's Blackson going around the edge.
So he's basically been blocked by 3 guys.
Oh, yeah,
George is showing
center comes in as well.
So tackle, guard, center. And he's still fighting through this to try to, hinder the quarterback's throwing lane. So just circle Mack, focus on him on one play. So, yes, it's fair, as Cal is saying, to say, okay, injuries, this, it might have, but it's also fair to say fixing an injury might have a positive effect on Khalil. I mean, we can't deal with hypotheticals. I hate to steal from George McCaskey, but he's right when it comes to Khalil. This is a guy playing injured now, and we're seeing that kind of effort. He was blocked by 3 guys. He juked the shit out of their starting left tackle, comes underneath, destroys the guard. Now he's being double teamed, And now he's got past the guard, and the center has to pick him up. And 50 isn't doing a good job. He should have been flying up that fucking angle, and he tackles Burrow. Watch the angle 50 takes. A Tochu. Watch him.
Yeah, it's a Tochu. So I mean, again, what a Tochu is supposed to do is come off the back of Akeem Hicks and do that.
If he comes right off,
what he ends up doing is sort of that.
If he comes off Akeem's ass, it's straight up sack time, baby.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if he's gonna do this, coach, he needs to smack him because he's within a yard of the line of scrimmage. He needs to smack him, knock him on his ass. Then Roquan only has to worry about the deep route. Okay, you put that tight end on his ass now, a Tochu. Fine, it's legal. You can do it. It's within a yard of the line of scrimmage. It's within the tackle box. You can smack him as hard as you want, as long as the ball's not in the air. And at the end of the day, if you're doing that, and you can quite clearly see the ball's not in the air. If you do that, fine, but he sort of puts a hand on and then decides he's going to go, and it's like, the timing on the stunt is then completely off.
And again, Alex H is saying exactly what I'm saying, Spirit. I know you have a preordained agenda. See, I don't, because if Max sucked, we'd be watching Max tape today to show you why they got to get rid of his ass. This is a guy playing injured that needs surgery and is out there getting triple teamed. And it's guys like you that can't appreciate what kind of punishment each and every down you're getting. Boom, hit. Gotta have pass rushers. It's quarterback, then pass rusher, then tackle. That's how the order of need and importance on a NFL level. High school, college, it could be different. NFL, quarterback number 1, pass rusher number 2, tackle center could be 3A, 3B. That's how it should be ranked. That's how you build your team. Then I can find everything else outside of that. Drives me insane watching these people talk about this and not appreciate it.
What's better than having Khalil Mack outside the edge? Having Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn outside the edge. And it's the opposite.
They only
side
did
of
it
the
twice. They only did it twice. It's crazy.
And this is just, well, if you can't appreciate this, I'm not sure what you're watching the game for. So we show the blitz. You see the nickel back there, sort of showing that blitz and then backing out of it. There goes the snap. Big Akeem in the middle, taking the guard and center. Look at this stunt block. At the end of the day, Khalil Mack's only job here is just to tie up the halfback and the guard. And he just destroys him. Just destroys him. He gets like a hand. It's over at that point. He's right there. It's over. And he's sort of chasing him, doing his best Leno impression. And you get Quinn and Mack getting the sack. So we go to this end. This is a thing of beauty. Why you need to keep Akeem Hicks as well, by the way, is shown good evidence right here.
Oh my God.
So
I know.
Watch Khalil. Watch the way that Khalil and Quinn work together as a tandem. And 2-on-2 just isn't fair. And the guard's turning towards because he's thinking he's going to get, at this point there, the angle. You see this angle that he's taking? He's thinking bull rush. And he's right to think that because he's quite capable of bull rushing him. But he does. He comes to contact, draws the hands, see him get it completely off balance there, coach. That body angle right here.
Look at the guy's shoulders turned the wrong way.
Leaning, he's past his feet, all over. I mean, he gets hands on him, but that's as much as it is. At this point, it's sort of like, run and pray. He does his best, Burrow, there. He's thinking, well, I can't step up into that, can I? Because Akeem's pushed my guard and centre.
He's like, I'm going to escape out the backside.
Yeah, I'm going to turn and come out the back. Oh, no, whoops. That was a bad mistake, wasn't it?
Whoops.
And then nice push by Blackson there, one-on-one as well. Decent ball rush on the edge.
He stayed that. He maintained that wall to keep him from going to his right.
But in terms of, again, it's the... How do you describe this? The only way I can describe this is savvy, because ideally, what he's trying to do is that's all we're trying to do. But he goes there, sees him turn and commit towards, deviates up there. What does that do? Well, it gets him upfield and past the guy, I mean, he's quite capable of just pushing him straight back on his ass. You know, we've seen Mack do this, and you're going to see him do it. But that there, you know, Quinn can come under that because of the angle that everyone's taken.
Well, everybody's going back.
Everybody's getting pushed back.
The tackle's like, oh,
they're going
God.
push back.
Yeah, Milt was a bad choice, the tackle's thinking. Yeah, Milt was a bad choice.
Pause it, go back, pause it again. Right there. Right there. So look where the guard's body is. So this allows Robert Quinn, the fucking toll booth, to go right through. He paid his toll because Khalil paid it for him. Now, this is team sport, guys. Team sport. Robert Quinn has a free run to the quarterback because of what Mack did, what George showed you. He attacked aggressively, making the guard think that he's going to have to barricade him because he's going to bull him and embarrass him, but he doesn't. He changes in a quarter of a second to an upfield rush, putting this guy on an island of misfit toys.
It's almost like Montgomery footwork.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And to my dad's original point, this guy could play nose tackle. He could play defensive tackle. Like, you have to have a creative fucking coach coming in here using that's why I just really believe Akeem Hicks is someone you have to smooth and say, listen, a new culture, new attitude, you coming in here and playing to our belief system. Is that what you want? Yes, I do. Then we want you here. That's as simple as that, because these three are so destructive. You want to win a Super Bowl? I'm telling you, you've got the foundation of it. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You talk about Akeem Hicks, Phil. I mean, let's look. We're at the 40 yard. What's that? The midfields. That's 40, 35 yard line. We're starting on the 35 yard line against the double team. Akeem Hicks is 5 yards in the backfield. Why can't Burrow step up? Why can't Burrow step up here? Because Akeem Hicks is 5 yards in the backfield against the double team. That's why. You know, you want to know why? You want to know why the flashy guys on the edge are making all the money? Because people like Akeem Hicks are doing that. You know?
Exactly.
And his leadership, what price do you put on his leadership? Even if he's not playing, the guy's still making a contribution.
I agree.
Those three guys you've got to keep.
I would just do everything in my power to what was his name? I'm sorry. I think Miguel. Where is he? He said he wants to retire a Bear. It shouldn't be very difficult. You make that conversation happen. You're the new GM. You're the head coach now. These are your expectations, and you have a formal meeting with them. Quinn has already been. That's his favorite defense.
That's his bag.
That's where he is. Yeah. Line him up. Robert Quinn's, as Matt said, his closing burst is outstanding. But this is the Khalil Mack show. And obviously, we always get excited with other nuggets that we see.
Things to be aware of.
What you can't believe.
What's that?
What you can't believe is he's 260-something pounds, and he's taking a guard that's 300 pounds. And they know how the strength in his legs and his upper body are incredible, because he attacks, and there's no stopping him right there. It's going to be somewhere 4 to 5 yards that you stop him. Exactly. And that's what made that play. Look where it was. So almost 4 yards before he started to come inside. 5 yards, maybe.
If as a coordinator you make the decision to single team Khalil Mack, you are considering that he's going to win that battle. You are doing that in your scheme. You're going away from him. You know, that's what it is. You're going quick and you're going away from him. It's as simple as that. And it dictates to the other teams. If the rest of the team, like the linebackers, if I'm Roquan Smith sat 4 yards behind him, sat over the card, and I'm seeing Khalil Mack get a single team, I'm thinking, okay, I need to go to the opposite side of where Khalil is, because they're not going there. You know? So you still key on your guard, but so things to be aware of in this one is you know, we've got Cincinnati in a scat protection, five protection. There's no back here to threaten run. You know, so we know it's pass or nothing. what do we have? Sort of an under 5 shell and 2 over the top. So again, in terms of quick game, this could be man because you got. Don't think that Roquan isn't capable of covering a slot because he is. And again, you got a. I'm not sure who it is there, but it's DeAndre Houston-Carson. Don't think he can't cover a slot receiver because he can. So again, in terms of it, this time we're running Akeem Hicks. Again, we're talking about Akeem Hicks as much as we are Khalil Mack. Reason why is because this ET twist this time. TE. So it's TE. So Akeem's going upfield. Mack's coming under. Look at the way he runs it and the arc that he gets and the angle of body. One arm on him, it's over. That's it. And look where Akeem is as well. On that TE, on that TE twist, he's up past the tackle. Burrow has to step up because he can't go around the outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what he means by TE is the tackle's going first. The end comes second. So it's a transition just like that.
It's essentially that.
So tackle's going to go first. See him go to the outside. You want to get that guard shoulders to turn momentarily to try to open up that toll booth that we talked about. You got to pay that toll, get that edge, that opportunity to get underneath it. When you look at it from the coach's angle, you could see this is team defense, philosophy of getting the football and moving the defender or the offensive lineman at angles to give you the pass rush. So watch it here.
What I love about this, Phil and Coach, is that because you got, again, we're talking about Akeem, because you've got Akeem Hicks here and, 6'5", 340 plus, 340, maybe to his Slimming World Club, maybe he's 340. He's probably a little bit more than that. But watch the guard's feet go completely dead. And then you talk about Khalil Mack. The reason why it works is because Khalil Mack, look at the width that we got here. This tackle's thinking I've got to get deep in a hurry, and I've got to get outside because of the width that we got here. Give him an angle like that, and it's going to be a problem for you because you got speed or you got speed to power. Depending upon what he wants to do. But here we get that, and it works to a dream because Akeem inside. You see him swap that hand. Talk about techniques. He's making it look like he's coming inside the tackle. Then he goes straight for the tackle. Forklift, levers. Khalil, look at Khalil taking that outside step. Then look at the angle that he's getting there to come around Akeem. You talk about footwork. Look at this point here where his feet land.
Unbelievable.
What he does with it. Look
Press
at that.
out.
An acceleration,
Back.
drive, under. Now dip and rip and turn. Look at the angle he's turning it there. In contact with the
like
guard.
A roller skater. You can't understand that stuff.
You talk about a lion grabbing the back of a springbok or something. He gets his hands on it.
Because the guard literally has an angle to push him past and open the toll for the quarterback to go through. Right? Watch. Right there. Like, it's magic. You can't. That's why
he lowers himself. Look, that's what he does. He lowers himself
so low to the ground like he's playing limbo in the Jamaican resort. Look at this guy. Jesus. And people want to debate with me. I'm like, are you watching this shit? Like, what just happened there is a sack.
People don't realize how hard that is to do.
Exactly. Troy Aikman's like, there's Khalil Mack on a stunt. He just got a sack. And Joe Buck's going on about Aaron Rodgers, whatever. And they miss the beauty of this. George, it's like
that's basically what he does. And at the end of the day, we're talking about a guy who's like 6'3", 260.
Exactly. It's unbelievable.
It's a big dude, and he's running like this. That step
running
there,
like a tailback. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It's almost wide receiver, like off that start, going upfield and then cutting square.
George, for example, isolate on the other guy on the other side. So watch what happens to a Tochu with just a hand. Want to see the difference? Boop, knocked down. He's falling
dead,
down.
Just dead in the. He only gets a shoulder of Spain as well, and he's just like, oh, dead.
And then look at Khalil Mack. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. I just think blog boys don't understand football enough to understand how incredible this sack is. They were trying to set up some sort of screen on the other side, and they can't even do it.
Yeah, slip screen to the receiver to that side, but it's just dead in the water straight away.
Unbelievable. I get so excited about Khalil Mack because of just those little things that you can't even imagine. Here is against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, we're on to the Browns. It wasn't a good day for us, but it is what it is. So, sorry, this is for some reason the clip's all the way at the end.
It's all right.
Yeah, so there's the man. You can sort of see what the intention is with how tight they are here. It's sort of like, and again, there's Baker, and you got offset backs here. So you're probably going to get some sort of game, some sort of one's going one way, one's going the other way, or something like that. But let's see what happens and what evolves in the play and how Khalil plays it. Okay, so you see the motion come out of the backfield. That's Demetric Felton, a guy who can play wide receiver or running back pretty well. Eddie comes up to the line of scrimmage, uncounted man in the box. Uncounted man in the box. So what's the important thing when you're playing with an uncounted man in the box? Well, these two guys need to make sure they take their responsibility. So you tie up the two guys that you're going against to get this free man who's not accounted for a free run. That's the whole point of having a free man, uncounted man in the box. So what happens? You see them zone towards. Well, they zone towards. That leaves Khalil Mack free, which, in your play design, probably not a good start to start with Khalil Mack being free. And then you see this come in here and you see that come in there. Well, not only is Khalil looking at that back, looking there, but he also sees this. You talk about what do you get? You see him hold that guy up. Oh. Okay, that's yours. You see Ogletree coming under because you can see this movement here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's he doing? He's trying to make sure now that you see him bend, you see him alter his angle of attack here, start going here, because he knows it's boot action. How do you stop boot action? How do you stop him getting out there? You get out there first. This is the intelligence that the guy plays with. And then Baker has to stop. It's boot action. That's where this is what they're trying to do. That's the area they're trying to go. It's an isolation there. It's an isolation read on this dude. That's what they're trying to do on that boot action. One under, one over the top. That's what they're going for. And a late one across. Okay? And then another one under. But because Khalil came free, does he bite on it? Does he run after it? No. He sees the back coming there. He sees Baker trying to boot. He sees this guy coming. He alters his angle of attack. He takes away the boot. Baker has to stop. Now, he's only got this or potentially this. Those are his options, but he's got to get his feet set. He can't throw that.
Right. And now
he's trying to run away from him.
He's too fast.
And he can't run away from Khalil Mack.
It's football intelligence. Football IQ is another thing that Spirit can't put into his airlines.
Talk about how important it is.
Yeah. The sack numbers are secondary to the total of what someone does on a football field. That's another thing I want to make sure people know. As George is pointing out, this is situational football. They're trying to attack a leverage concept to get a first down and move the chains on fourth down. So where's Khalil Mack's integrity of defense? It's sound. Fundamentally, if you continue to run straight down, you get beat outside by the quarterback because you're a stupid football player. We've seen this over and over. We're going to see it at the Super Bowl. Leonard Floyd's going to fucking come down, and the quarterback, Burrow, is going to go outside. Guaranteed. Mark it down. And this is going to happen. Stafford's going to get the corner, and they're going to run this on a 3rd down and 6, 3rd and 3. But look at the difference. He identifies the back is creeping. So TLC this shit up. Don't let him creep. Don't let him creep. Get up the field, understand what they're doing to you, and then attack. Become a football player. This stuff is unbelievable while you understand how hurt this guy is. And let me tell you, I'm not promoting hype here. This is what a coach's dream. Eberflus and Poles are like Quinn and Mack. Okay. And a young quarterback and David Montgomery, who's elite. That shit matter. Wait till you see it 50 deuce from behind on this. It's unbelievable. We're showing you.
The thing is, we're talking fourth and 2.
The real key is the back.
Yeah.
See, if he was the back is coming and avoiding him. Now, if he was coming towards him, that would bring in a whole new situation.
Exactly.
Because he's involved. You understand? So that's why he widens.
Because football intelligence. You're not going to fool me. I see.
But we're talking less than a quarter of a second to ID that.
Exactly. This is the NFL. You know how fast Chubbs is coming out of that? He's trying to get that leverage. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then he finishes off. I said it before. I'll say it again. I get so fired up when we watch the tape. Put it on the coach's angle, George.
Well, the thing that I want to talk about as well, Phil, is you don't think he's an emotional leader. Look at the reaction on the sideline here. Look at everyone. You talk about fired up on 4th and 2. Your leader comes through, doesn't he? There goes emotion. No one's biting. You know, I mean, 4th and 2, it's kind of a bit of a naggy play call. I mean, I'm pretty sure the OC was like having a bit of an emotional self-time when he threw this one up.
It is a naggy play call.
It is very much a naggy play call. But there you see the zone action sort of going away. So everyone's sort of, zone action. You can see, we do have some bite on it. They are kind of going, which is what we'd expect him as the backside. I mean, if this was a counter step, like Coach said, if that was a counter step, this play action probably works a bit better, and it also probably, straightens him up there for him to get outside. But there's no counter step. Chubb goes out. Khalil Mack sees it instantly there. You see where his eyes are?
Quarter of a second. Look at it. Just like you said. 1/4 of a second.
You talk about change of direction, Phil. Passes him off.
And he can't throw it to. He can't throw it to Chubbs because Chubbs ain't looking.
No,
look at this here, running back, and you'll see it put his hands on that guy to straighten himself out.
Almost like he's on a roller skate at the pole. Pull yourself around to give you a quicker turn.
That's right.
Holy shit.
Don't forget 33 is outside the picture here as well. Sat on top of this is the short zone. So 33 is actually sat on top of that. Okay, you watch it go. I mean, and the thing is, because he straightens, this boot action's dead. That's dead. He has to stop because he's running straight into Khalil Mack, and that's probably not a good idea for Baker Mayfield with a separated shoulder. So he does the wise thing, which is like run like a scared man, which is again that's quite reasonable. But
the great one would have taken the hit and thrown to the tight end who was wide open right there.
Yeah, this dude. Yeah,
right there.
Just sidearm it.
That's right.
Well, he ain't great. We know.
Cross him off.
At this
Cleveland
point,
Browns will never be there. Not with that guy.
Coach, at this point, Baker Mayfield, at this point right here, Baker Mayfield's mind is actually somewhere up his sphincter, just about there.
Right there.
He's in panic mode. We've got a bit brown in the trouser area. We're probably not thinking about the Titan leaking across the back of there.
Well, we used to run the waggle a lot. And the first thing you always want to do is get it to the halfback. It's an easy throw, fullback rather. And then always look to the tight end if they pull you up. And there it is. If you teach those two principles right there, you got it.
Well, it's a levels and east-west flood concept, isn't it? That's the whole point of having this guy come out, this guy come across the back, and that guy come across the back, and having like a levels here as well. That's the whole point of that. But the boot action, again, with no counter step from the halfback, didn't work. Let's get Phil up there. No, not me up there. I'm going to get Phil up there. Playing musical coaches. There we go.
We're all moving around.
We got there in the end.
We got Shane, the smartest man. Shane, he's muted.
How you doing, Shane?
I had to stay muted. I was in the background doing stuff, and then Phil added me to the lot, or George did, or somebody.
No,
just reading some of the comments. My God, we got blog boys on live with us in here.
That's what this is for, Shane.
Well, it's nice to have them here and having it looking something other than a spreadsheet. You know, it's welcome. This is why we call it the tape never lies, because it never lies.
The Mac hate is baffling. I think people have their minds made up, and then they see tape, and they're still not going to believe what they see.
That's what I hate the most. Is that the tape never lies. Yeah. That's the name of the network.
Yeah. But context matters, John Wood. Jesus Christ!
Who would
Saturday morning, I'm pissed already. You guys doing this?
Are you as pissed as Virginia McCaskey?
She's let her go play shuffleboard, drink her and sure shake. We'll play some fucking football and start winning here. We'll teach everybody what's going on.
Shane, I don't like to make accusations, but I hear Jonathan Wood doesn't watch the game live. He just watches the stats.
That's the thing, George. We've seen it over and over and over again, and John's probably a very, very bright person. I know he fucking hates me, and I'm perfectly content with that. I sleep fine at night knowing that. But don't sit there and come up with a fucking number, and then when somebody drags you on Twitter for it and shows you how your stat that you're using is severely flawed, his response to that was David Montgomery makes the Chicago Bears offense worse. Those are his words. So now you're just telling me that you need to not only need to change the fucking batteries in your remote or in your fucking calculator, throw your protractor away, burn your fucking house down, go choose a different sport.
Take a coaching course.
Oh my God, yeah, coaching course. Coach, he probably couldn't even call a fucking play in Madden. That's the bad part. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm all for analytics and using that as an added advantage towards what you're doing when you're watching tape. But he hasn't watched 1 second, not 1 second of all 22.
The stats are useful for tendencies, and that's for football. That's about it. Showing people's propensity to what they're going to do in certain situations. The stats will generally identify that. To understand whether a player is doing their job or not, you have to know what the job is. You have to know how hard that job is. And you have to have an understanding of what the defense is trying to do to take that away from you and what they are doing. You also need to understand that the coach is a narcissist that, decides the best way to run the ball is with no one blocking and have him start 7 yards off the line of scrimmage with the ball in his hand.
David Montgomery, obviously.
But Phil, real quick, you know you're in trouble when your boss, your editor, warns everybody before he posts the article that, hey, I don't agree with this, but I'm a great editor, so I'm going to let him run with this. Like
you need to save your homie. That's like letting your buddy go out with a giant booger in his nose on his first date.
No, it's when you guys, it's when you mates.
That's not a friend. Like, Phil, no, we're not going to put this to print because it's so fucking dumb.
Well, in case you don't know my name, my mama named me Rufus. I'm a third generation player. My mama named me Rufus. Daddy and granddaddy got the same name. My mama named me Rufus. Whew. And I don't really know why. I could go to the dentist. My mama named me Rufus. But that ain't gangster. My mama named me Rufus. I'm still rocking my gold.
Still rocking his gold.
I didn't know Eddie Sandoval's mother could sing.
Hey, Rufus is going to be our new song for the blog boy, the nerd.
I've thought about the analogy, which I think is right for it. It's like your friend what you go out nightclubbing with, and then at the end of the night he's absolutely hammered, and some nose tackle of a woman with fish that she's got for later to eat, resting under her titties, comes and cracks onto your boy, and he's like, whoa, she's hot, man. I fancy a bit of sweaty kipper. That looks real tasty. And you're like, no. That's what it's like. Anyway, back to Khalil Mack.
Show him the why.
Show him the why, George. Show him the why.
Here he is right here,
I love
tight end
Spirit.
side.
I love you, Spirit. I'm just giving you a hard time on truth.
So again, one of the things that people seem to miss is that, you know, the Bears were one of the best teams in the NFL rushing for last year in the NFL.
Oh, look at
this. Again,
and George, what does Matt Eberflus like to do? Any idea? Isn't that crazy?
Likes the rush floor.
Weird.
So Khalil Mack's got no business getting involved in this because, again, they're sort of away from him, turns towards him. Robert Quinn on the outside, just doing Robert Quinn things. And then Khalil I'll just tackle him when I'm on the floor. And it's, again, another sack. Again, in terms of like the width of where he's got to go to where this is, it favours Quinn to start off with. But Mack, you know, he's just kind of baiting the tackle. Tackle doesn't know which way to go because obviously Akeem's inside. He's thinking initially that he's not coming. So that's why he turns his head and goes inside. Then he's like, oh, yeah, no, he is coming. He jumps up. You see that subtle bit there?
Yes.
Get your
There's a
hand up.
hole there. He's holding his arm.
Well, it's not only that, Coach. He's got sense enough to get his hands up because he knows that Baker's looking his way. He starts to get. You see, Baker cocks that elbow back. Mack elevates, gets his hand up, and he gets pushed by Conklin. You know, Quinn takes out Conklin and Mack. Mack goes to the ground, still makes the tackle.
Look at this guy.
You're getting nowhere, mate.
And that's a precursor to the 4-3 front that the blog boys were wondering, can Khalil or David Hall or Alex Brown, whoever said whatever they said, just have an understanding that Khalil Mack was the defensive player of the year he was on this team that you're seeing right here. Right. As a 4-3 defensive end, the Bears are in 68% of the time a 4-man front. And Khalil Mack obviously played. He was leading the NFL in sacks, guys, injured with 6.5 through 5 weeks. Then he was out. So where you're going to say, well, Khalil Mack wear on the tire, he's older, he's more injured. I'm telling you on the tape, this guy's amazing. Injured. I'm telling you also that former teammates of him have told me he shouldn't even be out there playing, but he tried. Boom. Guess what? He finally was told by the doctor, you got to shut it down. We got to take care of this injury so you can be like your partner over there, Robert Quinn, 100%. So that's why we're excited. And George is showing you tape here to get you excited. You can't deny what's going on in the tape. Come on. Not everybody knows, Tony. That's the funny thing. We all know Khalil is great. No, we don't. That's why this is so important, that we understand just how great he is. If you know it, that's amazing. That's great. But not everybody does. People are writing him off. Me and Shane have been fighting, and George have been fighting this narrative with Khalil Mack. He's all right. He's not worth the money. Oh, he's worth every penny.
Don't just look at the box score and look at sack numbers. That's 95% of the people that are upset with Khalil Mack or think that he's regressing. That's all they're looking at, and that's all they're concerned with. Exactly. Watch some tape. And I don't know if you guys touched on this, but I always have to laugh with the Bears transitioning to this 43 front, which they're in almost 70% of the time anyway, and people are making a big deal of it. But I'm literally reading people on Twitter saying, well, he's going to get chipped. He's going to get doubled. I'm like, have you not watched him his entire career?
That's all he deals with
every time.
George put up a great play. He gets triple teamed on it.
So we got literally 3 left to go, and then we're done for the Khalil Mack. So we got like a nickel over. What does nickel over mean? There's middle linebacker. There's the other linebacker. So that's you would normally have like your 2 linebackers there. There's 1. There's 2 because you got a bunch. 1 outside. Darren Waller down here, singled up there, and 1 high look. So you see, Carr is processing that. Khalil Mack is in Carr's head already. So in terms of watching, he's going against Leatherwood, who's a rookie. And again, he's running that twist with the outside.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's Ogletree. Mack is not supposed to get there, but in terms of like the pressure, Carr is having to go back and back and back and back, and he takes that under. And again, in terms of understanding your responsibility, you should be driving with this. That's the last man out. Last man out of your zone, you have to follow. So that's an issue with the zone. But we've got a new defensive backs coach yesterday officially. So hopefully he gets on that. Let's look at it from the all-22 angle. Again, in terms of understanding what we're getting, what he's trying to do is tie up these two. That's Khalil Mack's job to get that twist under. Okay, and that's
James Rowe is the new defensive backs coach.
So again, Coach Toshin, is this a hold? That looks a bit like a hold to me. I'm no expert on holding. Looks a little bit.
Circle it there, George.
A little bit like a hold.
Guys, I'll be right back. Give me a couple seconds.
No worries.
Look at that hold.
Looks a little bit like a hold. Just a little bit. Even on the back of his helmet for some reason. But, fair enough. Maybe he wants his chin strap. He still gets through. Against that hold, with Ogletree coming under, flushes Carr out of the pocket. It's a decent throw by him. It's a good tackle by Vildor. Vildor maybe should have just came a little bit sooner on that zone responsibility, as I said.
Maybe it was a headlock, Centino said.
Oh my God!
It was definitely something. So,
anytime you see a guy's head over the guy's shoulder, there got to be a holding play. You got to call it.
Both hands around the waist is a bit of an indicator as well. It's when it starts looking like you're having a slow dance, that's probably a hold.
And this guy's one of the most held football players in all of the National Football League. Those of you, obviously, recency bias plays into this because you haven't seen Khalil in a little bit. But the reality is you watching the game have seen Mr. Mack held.
He's right. It was called on that play. So that's correct.
Exactly.
There we go. So again, Phil and Coach, we've got a DDP, and Coach. I shouldn't call you what I call you, in real life. You talk about running this. You talk about running this ET stunt, and he just absolutely snots Leatherwood there.
This is an amazing.
Creams him in the ear.
Watch this amazing.
And then gets a sack. It's ridiculous. This
is
play.
One of the most amazing plays. Any person that's ever played the game of football, you'll have a hard time. It's almost like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Some people could do it. That's fine. Some people on this planet might be able to do this, but watch this effort when he's coming inside. So he's going to press up the field. Then he's going to change directions immediately. Look at that. And dip his shoulder to get low. Then he drives into that offensive guard on purpose to free up 90. And then he's like, wait a second. This guy just moved 4 feet.
The center's turned away.
Now he turns 90-degree angle it's unbelievable.
Made 2 90-degree turns.
2 90-degree turns.
You want to talk about how to run an ET? This is the way you run an ET. I mean, that's the first thing. That's the critical thing. Is getting the tackle to set upfield. The only way you do that is by taking that upfield step, cross the line of scrimmage. Cross the line of scrimmage, then you turn. Look at that outside foot, that shuffle step, Phil, like a running back would do.
Yep.
That shuffle step cut, and then cut square. Knee drive, look at the knee lift for that drive in terms of a sprinter. And then absolutely snots Leatherwood in the ear.
Oh, my God.
Centre turns away to Bilal Nichols, who is completely ineffective anyway, so you really don't need to help anyone on him.
The hash mark is so critical to understanding the 290 degrees. Like, this is humanly insanity. Human insanity.
I think he's wearing his Nike Tron cleats, Phil, because he does that. Like the Tron speed cycle where he just sort of does those square lines.
I think he uses the center to turn too.
Yeah.
No, he just cuts with that right foot.
He just dips that shoulder and gets right up. It's unbelievable. Like, guy's hurt. This guy's playing hurt like this. This is why I can't be more boisterous for these football players that do maximum effort. Eberflus, his system, his aggressiveness is going to be the perfect marriage for Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, and like we've been saying, hopefully my dad, and George believe you gotta talk to Akeem Hicks, get him back here, and give him a fair deal. It's obviously not going to be a big payday based on his age, but this is somebody that plays with determination, plays with heart, that told Matt Nagy to go fuck himself. Sign me up on that guy. Sign me up. But anyway, talk
about someone else signing up. You're welcome, Michael.
Hopefully, Mike, you sign up for a page. Today, we're doing a Khalil Mack microscope on Mack, why he fits. This is X's with the O's. This is usually a patron show, but we're broadcasting it live on all of our social media platforms, our channel here. There's almost 300. There's 300 of you right now watching live. Hopefully you sign up, become a patron, thetapeneverlies.com. This is what we do. We're going to be breaking down all the free agents. So Akeem Hicks is going to be a part of this.
So can Khalil Mack play with his hand in the dirt? Well, let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. He has his hand in the dirt. There he is. Can he play with his hand in the dirt? I don't know. Let's see. Darren Waller and the tackle both coming towards him. They're completely ignoring Trevathan because Trevathan's getting that backside tight end coming on the wham there. Okay. What you have to appreciate here is how square Khalil Mack stays to the line of scrimmage. You see him working his hands as he sees that tight end come across. Look at him. See, he's working the backside of there because he doesn't want that to be a cutback on the outside. Mm-hmm. He's staying square. We have a man outside. Watch him transition here. Working. See that he's straightened that left arm. You see this guy Waller. His right shoulder is literally like this up in the air. Yeah, it's 2 yards, and then he has to spin because he's being held. Spins, makes the tackle. Yeah, it's a 5 yard run. Okay, but if he gets the outside here, Jacobs. And the thing is, he cuts behind the back of that, and again, he's being held, but we'll see it on the other angle a little bit better than this.
Yeah, you're gonna.
So here he is.
So they got a tight end and a wing.
Yeah, zone away is the backside of it. There's a wing coming on that wham, and it's Trevathan doesn't play the wham very well. That's what creates that void.
So you're gonna see him drive, spin to get back into the hole of where the back is going. So he's taking away the front side. And then he's going to spin, knowing where he's going, and makes the goddamn play.
And then stops him dead, because that's where he makes contact, Bill, is on that 5 yard line. Stops him absolutely dead.
Because in football, there's going to be teams that fire out. Right there, the Raiders are firing out, right? He's taking on the tackle, then the tight end, and then spins and makes the play. Showing you power, toughness, and awareness. These are the things that you're going to want. This is our
Mac 10. This is our Mac 10. It's from the week before the Raiders, but I thought I'd leave this one to last because, it's just a bit of fun. Is he still an athlete? Is he still good? Well, Robert Quinn around the outside, we know what he is against the rookie. That's all over. In terms of Khalil on the other side against, I'm not sure I'm not sure it is for the. It used to be Taylor Decker, didn't it? But I'm not sure it is now.
It is Taylor. It's Taylor Decker.
Look at that swat there by Quinn. Ball comes down. He's got his back to it. He's been, questionably with his held. Sees the ball on the ground, picks it up, half tackle, running. Quinn almost tackles him as well. Tries to lateral, gets the ball actually knocked out of his hands. It wasn't a forward pass. It's because the tackle's made and the ball spilled forward. It's just caught in the air. So that should have been, that's a 45 yard line. But again, you talk about two guys out around the edge against two decent tackles.
This is a 43 look right there.
I mean, look, you talk about, what we're saying is.
This is how the officials can always tell holding. When the guy becomes perpendicular to the man, he's got a hold. Look what his arm is.
Oh my
he's
God.
holding that.
Yeah,
one in the front of the chest and one on the back of the chest. I mean, if that's
hanging on his
hold,
back,
what it is.
He's going for a piggyback ride before bed.
They're still going to get him.
The answer to that question is yes, they are. and some coaches. But there we go. So I thought I'd end on this one because, a bit of fun, picking up the ball, having a bit of a gallop, going off on an adventure like Frodo. Has the presence of mind to throw it to Eddie Jackson, who then manages to catch it. So that's pretty good, Eddie. And then gets tackled. But they call that for a forward pass. At the end of the day, it's that right arm coming around that knocks the ball out of his hand.
Right.
Show him the why. Show him the why.
We are showing you the why.
That is the why.
Why? Why?
That's the why.
Why do we want Khalil Mack? Why is he going to fit into this Eberflus offense? And rather defense.
Given the opportunity to do a more expansive search, would you have done it?
I was given the opportunity. I found him.
He found him. He was given the opportunity. He found him.
Mic drop.
This is the mic drop of the GM. I found him. I found this guy. Today we wanted to give you a look at why Khalil Mack, obviously 5 games played, and what he's going to bring to the table next year. It's a reason why Eberflus came to here. It's an absolute reason why. Because how many loafs is Khalil Mack showing on tape? I counted 1 over his time as a Chicago Bear. 1 loaf that I counted. And George and I are sticklers for the tape. Every week we go here. We're going to do this, breaking down tape live on air of showing you, as we go into the offseason, the free agency. Who are the Bears free agents? Should they re-sign? Once a free agent signed, we'll be breaking down that tape of the signed player. Who are they? We broke down Angelo Blackson. Were we right about him? Yes, we were. We broke down all of these guys.
Chris Tonga.
Well, that's the surprise, George. That's the surprise.
You're not kidding.
That's the surprise.
He was good.
Give me some fucking names.
We're going to give you some names. We're going to give you a lot of names. Speaking of Tonga, today we wanted to make sure you guys got a taste of X's with the O's and break it down Khalil Mack. We hope you enjoyed that, but wait a second.
Don't go anywhere.
There's more.
But wait,
So,
Joel.
End this, and then we're going to break a little news. You got a little short ender, and then we can...
Yes, let's end this.
Stay right here.
But don't go anywhere.
Don't leave.
Because Maron. Tell him.
Maron.
We're about to kick off something else that we do on Patreon. Thanks for watching the best network on the planet. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. Make a comment. It's X's with the O's every Saturday here.
What are the whys?
On the network that has no agenda. The tape never lies. Here we are, guys. We're back. Are you ready for another show?
What are we doing here, Phil?
I'm trying.
Let's do it the only way we know how. We have a little bit of TTNL breaking news. And sit in your seats, everybody, and buckle the fuck up.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
Turn that shit up, man.
Discipline
passion, determination, perseverance. Those things in a player are going to be critical. Once we identify those players that fit our culture, we're going to label them with a bear on their tag, and they're going to stand out like a sore thumb because those are the type of players we want to set the foundation here.
You sure about that? I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Forget about it.
It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob. We on the job. Block boys show respect to this thing of ours. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob. We on the job. Block boys show respect to this thing of ours. Yeah, it's DDP and the smartest man with the draft analysis for the Bears fans. And Bellissimo mobbed up like Peaky Blinders. The tape never lies. Draft prospect finders. Draft analyze this, draft analyze that. We got a left tackle and a quarterback. It's Poe's trade and all the fans are waiting. It's the off season. That's the only reason. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob. We on the job. Block boys show respect to this thing of ours. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob. We on the job. Block boys show respect to this thing of ours. Chicago Bears, old mafioso. We need some earners, wide receiver burners. Pose better find them players, mentors. Cause we need more offensive scores. Our rivals all swimming with the fishes on the lake shore. You seen it before. Can Ryan Pose build through the draft. Eberflus bringing hits with the defensive craft. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob, the draft mob. It's the draft mob. We on the job. Block boys show respect to this thing of ours.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Then let me do what I hired to do.
This game of football is determined by determination, pride, and the love of the game.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Here we are.
Hey,
it's Draft Mob, another one of our patron shows every Sunday. We'll be lining it up, and today is no different. Draft Mob, our new show that is an old show, but now we got a new attitude in regards to who our GM is and how he's going to handle the draft. We're going to be breaking down, guess what, George? Today, what? The Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl's happening today, and George Bayless, our guy, has completed his task on this network, coming up with some of the guys that we as Bears fans want you guys to look at in the draft. Who are going to fit?
Focus on them in the Senior Bowl today.
In the Senior Bowl, rather, yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
In the
We're
Senior
back.
Bowl. Draft Mob every Sunday. Become a patron, thetapeneverlies.com, and be a part of this. Obviously, you got a taste of our first show, X's with the O's, where me and my dad and George break down all the free agency, all of the Chicago Bears free agents to be, signings, all of that. And then on Draft Mob, we break down the college and the process, the names. We are going to get into the names for Bears fans, Factor One. That's why we're here today.
That's why we're here.
I will have to leave a little early. That's why we started at 9:30 Bullets a.m. East, because my son's birthday party at a laser tag place is at 12 o'clock. So I am going to bounce, and George and Shane will take us out with my dad. My dad's sticking around, but I'm going to bring him. I wanted people to see the new look. Shout out to Ron G, giving a new look to Draft Mob.
Old look.
We're going to use both looks.
We're going to use both.
We're going to just, decide which suit we want to wear, George, to the freaking shootout.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that I don't wear eyeshadow as it kind of looks over there.
This is going to be the best look right here, George. This is going to be the best look, right? Fuck out of here, Phil.
Absolutely. Yeah, we might be able to get some words in now, Phil.
Let's leave it there. Bring my dad back in. Draft Mob. I'm sure my dad will be a part of that as well as we break down some of this stuff on the network that keeps it 100. As you guys know, the best network covering the Chicago Bears. Today, we're giving you a free view on what we do here. George Bearlissimo. We broke down Khalil Mack earlier. If you're just tuning in, we're doing the Creature double feature, Dad. Remember that back in the day? Channel 56. Godzilla, then King Kong, or whoever the heck. That used to be my favorite as a kid. Anyway, we always have fun, Shane. We always keep the truth. Yes, there's some swears, so prepare yourself because football is not a church. It is a religion. And God forgive me for how many F-bombs I've said over the course of the last 2 years alone under this administration. But today, we are getting you prepared for the Senior Bowl. That's
because I'm his daddy, lads. Just so you know.
George, today, though, we're going to look at some of these. We're looking at one player today, but we're going to go over some names that Bears fans need to watch.
We gave George some homework. We told him to give us his favorite player, and we got 14 in true Philatosian fashion. He gave him a 10A, 10B,
10A to D.
I go, George, give us 10 players. He's like, I got a 10A, B, a C, and a D.
Oh, come on! It's like saying, give me one donut when there's a pack of 6 donuts. It's like, no.
That is true. It's hard to eat just one donut.
But you got let's kick this off, George.
What does this say right here? This might be a bit of a guide, a bit of a clue.
You're giving them a teaser. Let's go through the first names that these guys should be watching for. Philosophically fits in the Senior Bowl for the Chicago Bears, George.
Well, massive need for the Bears, and also a massive player, and very technically good, strong, physical, everything you want to tick on this new speed, effort, intensity, working downfield, going downfield. Zion Johnson, guard, stroke center, stroke tackle, wherever you want to put him really, out of Boston. Played right guard last year for Boston, but he's going to be playing
College, George.
Boston College. Boston College. Pack the car.
Do we know anybody from?
Do we know anybody from there? Our new GM. That would be it.
That's it. That's it. Oh yeah, he's a former left tackle, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been taking some some snaps at centres. He's going to be doing that again today as well, apparently in the game. So that's something to look out for because in terms of whether you're replacing Whitehair or Daniels, if we can't re-sign Daniels, or whether we're going to move on from S'mores Stuffer. Olin's favourite guy. Whether we're going to move on for him for someone who's actually competent, and that's a name that certainly I would look at. Next name is out of Florida State, which is Jermaine Johnson, 4-3 end. This is a guy that you could literally play anywhere from outside linebacker, like a will, to actual 4-3 hand in the dirt end. So he would give you that flexibility from being like either a will down to a hand in the dirt 4-3 end. He's looked very good in practices all week long, so I expect him to make an impact today. We're going to need a middle linebacker, sort of a downhill thumper type, and the next guy fits that bill, which is Chad Muma, or Mumma, I don't know how you want to pronounce it, out of Wyoming. There you can see him there. Very much sort of a Van Der Esch. I don't know if the guys know Van Der Esch, who was out of Boise and plays for the Cowboys, but very similar in terms of his ability to sort of run, chase, tackle, but also play physical close to the line of scrimmage and get after the quarterback on some blitzes. Safety stroke nickelbacker is a position we're going to need, so that down in the box safety guy who can come up over the tight end, in sub packages, run with them downfield. He's also been having a fantastic practice out of Baylor, Jalen Petrie, or Pitre if you want to go French, but that's the man there. He's a guy that's played again very well so far in the Senior Bowl practice. I expect him to make an impact in the game today. A guy that, although not massive, is seriously physical. So that's something I like there. Over to Cincinnati for a couple of players to look at there. Mihai Sanders, the cornerback, obviously everyone knows about him, likely to go at the end of the first round for me, round about that sort of first round to early second round kind of level. Depends upon which people like which corners more. But it could be anywhere from the first round all the way down to the second, depending upon what team's value and how he runs, really. But very technically gifted, man cover corner, can play sort of press, a guy who can sort of turn and run with pretty much anyone. Also very productive in terms of actually being able to turn the ball over. So again, you're talking about a cornerback who can play physical. That's the next goal we're going to be looking at, which is Darian Beavers, the middle linebacker. Could also play well, can also give you some pass rush. So a lot of versatility with him. I actually like him as a potential Mike. To go with Roquan Smith, or you could put Roquan at Mike and Beavers. So you'd have some flexibility having those two guys as interchangeable pieces. But he's a much bigger player and much more physical at the point of attack. Next player I've got on the list is right tackle so far. I don't know if people have seen, I'm sure, Shane, you've seen in Philadelphia, Jordan Mailata.
Oh, yeah.
The left tackle, and his conversion from being a rugby player into being a top-tier left tackle for the Eagles.
What a find he's been for them. They extended him and gave him big boy money, and
took a chance on an athlete with
Seventh
dynamic athleticism, something Ryan Pace failed to do. Couldn't believe it. I remember texting Shane in the moment, like, what about that Australian dude? Like, he's still out there.
He's what, 6'7" or 6'8", right? He's
6'8".
He's 6'8" and 385.
Was moving around like he's 240 pounds. Yeah. And this fucking clown ass GM in the seventh round isn't taking it. I'm just like, take a shot on potential here. That's what these oh my God.
That's what me insane. Everything from the fourth round on is all about.
Exactly. I mean, forget about Shaheen and not getting Kittle. That drove me nuts for years. But not taking a shot on that Australian just drove me insane.
This is another sort of a Maori Australian, so a native Australian. He's actually got sort of 3 or 4 years of football under his belt in Minnesota already, and people that watch that sort of that region of football will know. Well, I'm not sure if he'll fit on screen, to be honest. The guy is so big, but Daniel Fa'alele.
Where is he?
What round? I mean, what
second round pick?
There he is.
Second pick.
Yeah.
What's that, Dad? What's your question, Dad? I didn't hear it.
Where did the Bears pick?
Is it the second pick?
Yeah, they don't have a first round pick because they traded it to the Giants for Justin Fields. So we're looking at the second round, and we're look at this guy.
He's an absolute monster. I mean,
Minnesota.
What you don't get here,
Minnesota.
What you don't get here is you see a little bit of belly on him, a little bit of a beer belly on him. But this guy is 380 pounds, looking like that. There's not a lot of fat on him. There is a bit of belly, but it's not that much. The guy is an earth mover. He's 6 foot 8.
Arm, it looks like my hamstring.
He doesn't play 6 foot 8.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. His arm looks like my thigh.
Exactly.
You get him in an NFL weight program for a year, and I mean that baby fat's going to start rolling off. He's going to add even more muscle to that frame, and then you're going to end up in a situation, George, like we just talked about, with a guy like Philly stole in the 7th round, extended him out, and you have a mainstay on your offensive line for the next 10 to 12 years.
Fa'alele would be a guy that to be honest, you get him on the right side of the line, you want to get a first down, 3rd and short, 4th and short, run it behind him and Daniels, win. It's the guy. The thing is, he's going to put up unicorn-type numbers as well for a tackle because he's going to measure just ridiculous. And at the size and weight that he is, on those sort of those RAS scores that Math Bomb likes doing, he's going to come out like a unicorn. And this guy's going to run close to 5 flat at 6 foot 8 and 400 pounds.
That's just bonkers.
Maybe even under 5 seconds at that.
How
size.
is Tony Medlin going to get the helmet on this kid if the Bears draft him? He's going to need an actual ladder to get up there. I mean, Medlin's what, 4'10" for real?
I think they're going to have to put him in one of those cherry pickers. That they put the cameras up on the sideline. He's going to have to go in one of those to get his helmet.
I think if you are looking at the Chicago Bears, obviously, I believe performance over politics is going to somehow wage its way into Chicago culture. Just talking to a few people that I know about that. So a guy like Dieter Eisland that we did break down will get his opportunity to start. Everybody, it's almost like American Idol now for the Chicago Bears. You get a new culture in here.
Demeanor alone, Phil, is going to help him out. Be noticed with this front office.
Exactly, Shane. He has the temperament. He has agreed to come on the show, and we'll bring him on the patron side to break down his own tape with me, my dad, and George. So these are the things we want you to taste today. Right now we're in Draft Mob. Earlier we did X's with the O's, are two of our live patron shows.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind when you're looking at an all-star game like the Senior Bowl, it's hard to get a tough grasp in game. I mean, just to even show you about what a lot of the front office guys think of the actual game, they don't put much stock into the actual game. They're more interested in the practice sessions and the one-on-ones. 85 to 95% of front offices bolt, and they're not even there for the game. It's
how do they stack days? Do they? I mean, they might have a rough first day, like Trevor Penning did. You know, they might have a rough second day, but if they're improving every single day, then that shows your kid is coachable and is taking on board what you want him to do. And also maybe a guy that was a little bit jittery on the first day that you saw him, and now he's settling in, realizing he can play against these other dudes at bigger schools. You know, so there is a lot of that. But I mean, I like watching the game because simply you're watching live fire, and you're watching guys, you know, against people that they wouldn't have played at before, but now you're seeing that sort of level playing field. Again, it's the context that people like Jonathan would miss, because now you do have them on a level playing field. Now you do have them out against each other, and you can make that direct comparison.
Be sure and set your DVRs. 2:30 p.m. East. Reese's Senior Bowl is airing on NFL Network. So
2:30, yeah.
Yep, 2:30 p.m. East. So make your list that we're giving you and check these guys.
Get your own notes for next week's show.
Yeah, because
I don't want to break it too early, but I think tight end's going to be a need as well. So I've put one of those on the list. And this guy is what I think that we all hope that Cole Kmet could be. Out of UCLA, Greg Dulcich.
There he is.
Yeah, you talk about a guy who's a dictator of coverages just by where you align him. You will see that guy dictating coverages, I believe, when it comes to Sundays. You'll be able to, once you get him sort of in that weight room, just to get a little bit more meat on the bone. But that size, he's sort of 240 pounds, by the way, 6'5", and he's quick. You know, he had 4 80-yard touchdowns in his career.
Yeah,
UCLA, something like that. You know, you don't run 80 yards, even in the Pac-12. You don't run 80 yards without, you know, having a bit of speed behind you.
Exactly.
So he's a guy I like.
This bowl, and I was watching the tight end from Virginia Tech. He's quite an athlete. He needs a lot of work, but I'll tell you right now,
converted basketball player. But I like him, Coach.
That means Pace would have brought him on. Pace.
Second round for Pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, nice mic, George.
Yeah, nearly lost my camera there. I managed to get my foot trapped in the cable. Into the interior, into the big boys. Again, this guy can play anywhere from a 0 to a 5, from like a 1 to a 5. Which again, we're going to need that sort of versatility on the interior. Neil Farrell, a guy who again had a good season, undersung because he's an undersung position. But this guy is he's a one-man wrecking crew. But I like it when he's able to sort of get upfield. So hopefully, with them not being able to blitz and him being able to play 1 and 3 tech today, we're going to be able to see him show some of that upfield versatility, because he's a real handful. His ability to disengage is what I really like about him, his hand usage on the interior, and just how square he stays at the line of scrimmage and how he's able to reset the line of scrimmage. So he's a guy I really like.
So real quick, George, before you move on to the rest of your list, this isn't exactly how we do Draft Mob. We're not just throwing up pictures.
Not just running through like this.
Yeah, we're going to have all 22 of all the prospects that we talk about, and it's going to be much like X's with the O's. We will show you how they fit into the scheme in Chicago under Eberflus, under the offensive coaching staff. Well, whatever direction they go, we'll show you up front with video, all 22 on all of these guys. We'll have interactive shows where we'll work off lists that you guys provide and want to see. And just like that right there, George, let her rip.
Okay, so do you want me to go through the rest of the list, or are we just going to go straight to tape now?
We could go to the tape now and then come back with the list.
Yeah, we can
because
just fire
I
through
got
the
to
list at the
bounce.
end.
So I
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do what Shane is talking about, because this is a
Sure.
taste for everybody that isn't a patron. We're asking you, go to the tapeneverlies.com, but sign up to become a patron. I don't have that picture, but I got to upload. You know, it's $7.83 for a thing of what are those pita chips? Those healthy chips. That's for one bag. Your wife goes through Starbucks and gets a caramel latte Froconato, whatever the hell.
Mocha Choca bullshit. That's
Yeah,
what they call it around here. Yeah.
$7.82. For $7 a month, we're going to be breaking down the Chicago Bears almost every day, giving you pop-up shows. Obviously, those patrons will tell you. And we're going to be preparing you with X's with the O's, Draft Mob, my film breakdowns, and pop-up shows, Q&As. And
Be part of the push to 1,000.
We are trying to, we want to get to
1,000 patrons before the
patrons.
NFL draft. And we're up in the 7s right now. So if you're not a patron, go over and check it out for $7. If you don't like it,
it's ambitious, but there is so much content on there as well. If you want to know how accurate Draft Mob is, go and look at last year's Draft Mobs. They're on there. You can
They're
go
all
and
there. It's like a standing DVR, so you can go
not
back.
Not going to blow our own trumpet. We absolutely nailed it last year.
Yeah.
Yes, we did, because we had patron 222 watching,
and we don't hide from our mistakes. We'll talk about our mistakes. We're up front with all of that. We're not just talking about the guys that we hit on. We will talk about why. We'll show you the whys. We're not just going to talk about them.
Well, a guy that we liked last year, Shane and DDP, was Spencer Brown, who played right tackle for UNI, University of Northern Iowa. Well, he was held out by this dude, Trevor Penning, at left tackle. And by the way, this is his freshman little brother, who's also a Penning, who is equally freakish and nasty.
That's a bad picture.
Never mind. I mean, we're going to get a pretty good picture of what he is here.
Yeah.
I mean, so in terms of
real quick, George, for a GM that's wanting to do this,
take over the North and never give it back.
He's already expressed how important. He's an offensive lineman, a former offensive tackle at Boston College. His assistant, Ian Cunningham, was an offensive tackle, the assistant GM position. It's never been done before in Chicago. He has his right hand. It's like me being the GM. Of course, I'm going to talk to and say, I want George and Shane there. And I'm going to give them titles because I trust these guys. That's what he's doing here. And they've made a priority on the attitude adjustment of the offensive line, basically calling it a weakness, calling the temperament wrong, calling out the fact that Affetti pushed Jenkins aside when Jenkins showed this kind of toughness. They're going to change that whole culture up front. To Shane's point about Dieter. Dieter obviously isn't in that realm of, no, don't get a 15. Dieter's going to yoke somebody up.
That's smash you in the face.
Yeah, exactly. That's where this is so important as we look at this offensive tackle.
That's what this dude is. In terms of that sort of nasty MF up front. That's going to come off and growl at people. And
you can say it, George. We're equal opportunity.
That sort of nasty glass-eating motherfucker you need up front to sort of smash people off the ball, destroy their souls, and then pick up their crumpled body and hand it to their mama on the sideline. That's the kind of guy you want up front. That's what Trevor Penning is. So let's watch a bit of poetry in action. See motion. They play like a 3. It's like a 3-5 is what they do, the Iowa State run. But again, you can sort of see they're trying to sort of widen the line. You see the guard getting out and both the guards getting out. So we're left single 3-on-3. So what does the 3-on-3 look like? Well, if you watch Penning, just focus on this area of the field here, which is where we want to look at. In terms of what does he do well? Okay, so the first part is pushing off that right leg, not dragging back with that left. He's shooting out. See how square his shoulders and hips are? See how square his shoulders and hips are? Pushing off that right, guiding with the left. I'd like to see this left foot just a little bit lighter, as in the heel off the ground and the toe on the ground. A little bit heel toe there, but that's where you see the toe. You see the toe a little bit flat-footed again, but in terms of the width of his push there, he never gets heel clicky, which is the reason why he has such a good base, why he's so strong, at the point of attack is because he doesn't get too narrow. See the adjustment of a speed guy adjusts. Look at him reset. You see him reset his feet, keep square, stay on your man, and then the bit that you want to see afterwards, nastiness. Yeah, I'm still on you, mate. Yeah, the ball's on the ground, but the whistle hasn't gone yet, so I'm going to keep going until that whistle goes.
Yeah, I like.
And then I'm going to shove you, mate.
Hey, look at his width, George. His body mass. His width.
You talk about.
His movement for that width is very fluid.
He's what they call a SpongeBob SquarePants body, isn't he? He's got that sort of,
Exactly.
He's like that with a set of legs,
The great thing about it is he's asking him, come to me, rather than I go to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the patience with the hands as well, Coach.
It's 4-5 steps before he even makes contact.
It's the patience with the hands too. One of the common mistakes that rookie tackles particularly make in the NFL is they put their hands out there for the guys to they leave them out there too long. Well, if you shoot them out, and what I would like to see in there is once he gets his hand on, is reset. Once that chop comes down, reset and punch with that left hand. But, he stays on the body, stays square, and then, gets after it. Which, you want somebody who's going to be a bit of a tone setter.
Yeah.
Someone's going to make a bit of a difference. And his kid brother is exactly the same, the guard that's playing next to him. Motion comes across, you see the reset by the linebackers all shift over and the safety widening. Okay, there's a motion coming back. The linebackers are following zone.
Look at that step.
Yeah, exactly.
Scoop.
You want the seal.
Sam's left.
Zone step.
Take that step. Now you can scoop, meaning
and then look at the position.
Look at that position. You
reset the hips, wall it off.
That's against Iowa State.
And then his little brother takes over, and then he goes looking for a linebacker. Yeah, that one's already past me. Okay, I can't get to him. Let me look for someone else to snot. Oh, you'll do. He's after him. Doesn't get there, but he's after him. That's the bit that you want, is the want. Yeah, the ball, the play doesn't do that well because, what number 7
tight end misses the block.
No, yeah, well, tight end misses the block, and then this dude, what is he even out there for? Why have we got Garrett Wolf as a lead blocker? It might be Matt Nagy calling this play as well, to be honest. It kind of looks a bit like him. But again, in terms of what Penning did, you want to see a seal block position, let your guard take over, and then get to second level. That's the way you do it. And then you go looking for some smurf to hit, which, gotta love that. Gotta love playing a bit of bully ball.
Gotta be a bully.
That's it, on the offensive line. The first one.
It's George. Go back one. I'm sorry. I just wanted
previous play.
Just the coaching point, and I think only terminology is important. I call it a scoop block. My father, that would be his coaching technique, where you're fighting to get to that outside shoulder so you could turn him in. That gives the outside, play. It should have been a good play, but you saw the tight end 84 whiffs. He does the old JP Holtz and whiffs his head's down. Exactly. But the point here when you're assessing is this guy, to George's point, does his scoop block or seal. So there's different terminologies. I know what's his name? Bob Loblo is going to have a different term for it, right? So I call it a scoop. George call it a seal. Bob will call it something else. But just so everybody's on the same page, George talking about he can't get to that linebacker. So when you're assessing in the Loaf's system that he's going to be brought here to the Bears, this guy is passing the grade because he's looking for someone to get to. That's all you want from your offensive line, because with the David Montgomery, he breaks 3 tackles. And because you decided to give the maximum effort, your block was the fourth tackle that was needing to be made and wasn't, because you did your job. That's all I wanted to add to that. And it's coaching. Okay. Coaching. Yeah, there'll be no more Demir Bird blocking the end down there. Hopefully Getsy. And we'll look at Coach Getsy too. Me and my dad on X's with the O's. I'm going to take a look at what Getsy's going to bring.
This kid is you want a sort of a late round, priority free agent type kid. This kid out of Iowa, he's got a pretty good reputation. Iowa State's got a pretty good reputation. But again, you talk about a point of attack in terms of that backside wham's supposed to come in again. The tight end has completely missed his block on 34, which is why the play doesn't really do much. But in terms of position blocking, you see him work his feet round. See him, just subtleties. Work his feet around. See him using that torsion in the body with the pushing with the right hand, conceding with the left, and then keeping that body position. Now he's actually starting to push his guy back and win.
Yes.
And he just sort of loses a bit of balance there. Doesn't extend with his arms really. That's the problem there. But I mean, at the end of the day, his running back's past him. But how does he finish the play? How do you finish? Well, that's how you finish. You get on top of your man, and you stay growling at him, trying to chew his arm.
That sounds like a perfect clip for us to save for the Keeping It 100 show.
Stay on top of him chewing his arm. Yeah.
Now, George is breaking down offensive tackle. What's his name, George?
Trevor
Penning from Northern Iowa, who's in the Senior Bowl today. So you guys, 2:30 NFL Network, they'll be broadcasting. You can take a look at him in the game.
Don't forget, George was on this guy before Poles.
Oh, last year.
Yeah, exactly. But don't forget, Ryan Poles has given you a tell already in what he is looking for in an offensive lineman. We mentioned it earlier. It's about the demeanor. It's the nasty. There's not going to be any more of the Jermaine Ifedi pillow talk out there. Oh, no. We're not.
Charles Leno, speed bump Charlie.
Those days are gone. This franchise, your GM and your assistant GM are former offensive linemen.
I think you're going to like this play.
That becomes a priority in this franchise, and it's been lacking for decades.
There's a question here. What round is he projected to go in? He's probably round 1, start of round 2, realistically. He's one of the better tackles in this class.
Same thing, though, George. Tevin Jenkins was the guy that everybody had Chicago taken at number 20. The Bears moved up for him, but, I mean, would I be shocked and totally floored if a guy like Penning dropped? Things get crazy on draft day. Things always happen.
And people reach for, even though they say we're going to take the best player available, they always reach for need. Every team, you see it happen all around the league.
One of the things I hate about the Bears last year on the offensive line was the amount of guys that would not have someone to block because they've gone to the wrong side. They'd just be standing there like...
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
looking like Jonathan Wood watching the All-22.
Well, just keep your eye on Trevor Penning here. It's just one hand to the guard to his little brother, at 55. Sees he doesn't have anyone to block. So, okay, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to take all 7 of these guys and just smush them over that way a bit. Including his own offensive lineman here. He just decides he's just going to start turning and pushing everybody. And
no one's coming. Do something.
Yeah.
I like
that.
We've
got the control there. Okay, well, I might as well just, get a bit of movement there. Look at that for the QB to throw in. You don't like that?
To throw or take
run.
Off. I mean, Jesus Christ, Nick Foles could have ran there.
Well, let's not stretch reality, Shane.
Listen, I see somebody talking about the tight end. We're all in on Jasper Horsted actually getting a shot.
I've got about 5 minutes just to let you know, guys.
Yeah, we get it.
Perfect.
So motion comes across the back. Okay, in terms of a little bit more stacked. Again, you want to talk about just using your feet and your body position just to get a point on the backside of a play. 9's going nowhere. And then you must stay on the guy, smash him to the floor.
Jesus.
That's what you want.
He's nasty. He really wants to hurt people, which, I love.
Sounds like a perfect pairing with our offensive lineman that we drafted high last year, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Tevin Jenkins.
So, George, you want to rip through the rest of your list so people can have the list to watch for the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Just can rip through them real quick, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah, so we got to. Should we take that off the screen and we go back to there? So the next one's press man corner. Again, Just want to see how he reacts because this is a later round guy, I think, for the Bears. So we're looking, rounds 5 to 7, that kind of area. Caleb Evans, very long, he's 6'2", 210 pounds. He doesn't look like it there. That's him when he was at Tulsa. He was at Mizzou in his final year. Played well there in the SEC. Again, held up his own against both speed guys and bigger guys that he played against. Does get a little bit grabby at the top of his route, so I want to see whether they've coached that out of him at the Senior Bowl. So let's look at the top of the stem as to what his technique's like.
That's not the worst thing in the world either. Seattle used to gravitate towards those guys because they're not going to call that every single down.
Exactly.
Long press, grabby at the top of the route.
I would rather have a guy aggressive than not aggressive because I'd sign up for that all day.
Back to LSU. Got another middle linebacker to look at. Damone Clark. That's in there. This guy is a thumper.
Yes, he is.
He's underrated in coverage as well, I think, Shane. I don't know what you thought of him in coverage, but he's a middle linebacker who will come up and smash anybody, whether it's a guard, whether it's a center,
not afraid of it
a fullback,
at all.
Doesn't care.
He's the anti-Eddie Jackson in terms of physical contact.
That downhill, come on and play whatever's there and just destroy it. He's a seek and destroy guy. Yeah, you point him in. Nick Bolton was the guy that we loved last year, middle linebacker. Right. Again at Mizzou, a guy that's a tone setter. He's not quite Nick Bolton in terms of pure hitting power, but in terms of the mindset, the aggression, the technique. It's one-on-one tackler in space. Very underrated as a one-on-one tackler in space for me. Into the hug mollies again, a guy that played tackle at Kentucky, being projected as guard inside. I think that's better for him because his feet are just a little bit heavy.
Everybody's gonna love this picture.
He's an absolute. Again, 6'7", 340 plus pounds. Darian Kennard, and that's in there. And I think he's going to get a look at guard today. So let's look see how he does at guard because
looks like he can be an actor in a freaking zombie
Imagine if
movie.
Jermaine Ifedi walked up to that dude and pulled him off and told him to get to the sideline. I don't think it would work out too well.
Well, him and Chris Tonga doing a hacker before halftime.
Yeah.
Let's get some of that. Again, I'm going to probably horribly do the name here. John Dotson. So Dotson is a receiver that, again, you talk about a guy who's got sticky hands at Penn State. This kid, can really go as well.
This guy makes some catches, man.
He's changed direction
Cruz.
as well.
He reminds me of Victor Cruz.
Probably quicker than Cruz, though, I think.
Yeah, short area.
Short area burst,
Yeah. That's what I like about him is his change of direction acceleration. That's what, for me,
he looks like KJ Hamler. That's who he looks like.
Only man-sized.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is more physical than Hamler.
Much more, yeah.
That's something that is underrated about him as well, is his effort in blocking downfield. He's a kid who won't shy away from contact, which, as a smaller wide receiver, it's something I like. And the last one is a bit of a sort of a projecting number one downfield receiver, go up and get it guy. Is Jalen Talbot, Alabama, South Alabama, isn't it? Which I think is the stadium that they're playing in, isn't it? It's home stadium for him. This kid is massively underrated for me. He's approaching 6'5", but he's a legit 4'4" dude.
He could push that to 4'3" if you removed maybe about 12 of the bracelets he wears during the game.
Jesus. Yeah. He's got a lot of friends, a lot of friendship bracelets. That's what it's about. But he's a kid again. Coming from a smaller school. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does because I've watched his tape and I am super impressed with him because it's not just his ability to go downfield; it's him against the press as well. He's very shifty off the line. His ability to pick up speed is that's Jalen Talbot.
Jahan Dotson, Alex, are one of our patrons. Got hurt.
Not playing, but I mean, again, I think he's probably going to be. It's one of those injuries where he's
got to be on the list.
Well, I think the reason why is because it's that first. That the guy who gets a tight hammy the first day because he's been practicing 40 times. because as a wide receiver, that's what he's going to make his money on. I think that's what he's probably been doing, what he's actually saving himself for. So he's gone there, do the interviews, all the rest of it, not playing in the game, which I understand. He's that 40 seems to be massive for wide receivers.
Listen to this, George. Chintu Gandhi, watching TTNL from India, Dad.
My goodness.
Loves the show.
Well, thank you and welcome.
Tall and Long says, Phil, you suck. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what Ela calls me.
My wife said that to me last night. Boom.
in all the right places.
Exactly. Suck this, suck that.
So that's 1 to 10 and 10A and B and C and D.
Well, George, real quick before
to be honest, I could have gone 20, 25 prospects and been happy.
We are going to do live mocks. We are going to allow you patrons to be on our show to talk with us about players or prospects that you love. I see a bunch of you asking about.
George did forget one more prospect that we're extremely high on here as a network, and it's this guy. You talk about 4.3 and a dude that's going to hit. Check out this guy. Who's that guy?
Look at that guy.
Yeah, guard.
Guard and center.
Looks like a Cornhusker, doesn't he?
He does.
Gonna have forehead.
Out of Nebraska, 6 foot 180.
You were 5'8". We're gonna have a lot of coaches on the show with us, and some Kaplan's coming on. We're gonna be breaking down tape with these people. Olin Kreutz and my dad talking center. It's going to be must-see TV. Must-see TV here on the network. We have Steve Edwards, Eric Kramer, my buddy, former Chicago Bear, going to be breaking down Justin Fields, some of the quarterbacks. Again, shouldn't skip over quarterbacks in this kind of draft.
Nope.
George is going to be breaking down the tape with us. I can't thank this network, you fans, enough. Everybody a part of it, from Ron G making the backgrounds and the new look with Corey Kennedy, who's also a patron. There he is, who did that picture of you, my dad. Did a great job doing the artwork of the network of all of us there. I don't know if we have a picture I could put it. Oh yeah, Shane has that drop. See?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Corey Kennedy doing all those drawings and artwork. We're going to give it a new look and an old look, breaking down all of the draft picks prior to the draft, getting you ready, doing mock drafts. Then we're going to select some of you patrons, once you've signed up, to become, we're pushing for 1,000, to become a GM of one of the 32 teams.
Oh, that and gets me agitated just thinking about it.
Pick the draft and see what comes of that. Bullets pick, quitty, pay. And there's
number 4 overall, mind you.
Overall. So it always affects the draft.
That's breaking news, even though he did it last year. So that's perfect for Bullets.
We're working on getting GM Ryan Poles on the show. And hopefully that'll come to fruition, because that will be amazing to have him answer questions from the 4 of us here. And we have some surprises that I can't, because they haven't given me the firm commitment, but some names you might know, former coaches of the Chicago Bears, jumping on the show, breaking down tape of what they see, what we see, and having a blast doing it. So we try to bring you the best. I think you guys got a little taste of X's with the O's again today, as well as Draft Mob. I'm super excited to be working with these two guys, especially Shane and George, on the draft stuff, because it's always a part of appointment to not be a yes man. We don't always agree on everything. And that's what makes this so much fun, is because you got to fight for your guy. I've been on Lindenbaum before anybody was talking about him. I remember telling Shane, just watch this fucking center from Iowa.
I remember calling Phil back after I watched it. I'm like, holy shit.
Exactly.
Now, one of the guys I really wanted has decided to go back for his senior year, which is incredibly selfish.
But I'm excited about the kid from
Shane knows who he is because he plays for Roll Tide. So.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about.
We're going to keep him, George. We don't have enough talent.
I'm excited about Williams from Alabama with the injury. He could drop. If you got that
Alabama guys drop every year.
Oh my God!
Every
if that
year
receiver drops,
Mechie's the guy who's going to drop, I think. But I mean,
I agree.
Jameson Williams for me is he's up with Chris Olave and people like that.
He's there, you got.
If we can just get him to push an old lady into traffic or kill some puppies before the draft, that would be him to 39.
Shane, can we buy him a gas mask and some vape pens?
Man, George. I mean, if you talk about the Bears haven't had a wide receiver like him in ever.
I don't.
Yeah, he's like a faster Justin Jefferson.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
I don't think there's a chance in hell he drops.
He might
maybe
fall.
If he
what
does.
Was the kid from Colorado that I loved, and he went to where did he go to the Jaguars?
I know who you're talking about.
He went in the second round. He tested off the charts with athleticism and toughness.
He's very much like our former return man that went to Atlanta. In terms of
Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, he runs like a running back.
Yeah,
but
that kid
more explosive.
Lavisky, thank you. Lavisky.
Laviska
Shenault dropped because of his Lavisky Shenault dropped because of his listen, I've watched the draft since I was in 3rd grade when my mom let me stay home and watch it when it was on a Monday and Tuesday.
Did you know he did that, Coach?
Nope. I gotta shoot, guys.
Listen, George Berlissimo, great job. You'll be finding him here. George, any final thought before you go? Just quick.
Yeah, love George Pickens. No, it's going to be again. The Bears have done it to us. Again, we're all excited this offseason. Again, it's rolling up to Draftmas, and there's no better place to do it than right here. You know, in terms of looking at the offseason. This is by far and away the most accurate, the most nailed on. You want to talk about free agents, we'll show you the All-22. You want to talk about draft prospects, we'll show you the All-22. We'll show you what we like, what we don't like. We'll put it in context of how it fits with the Bears, and the best place to do it right here. So stay with us, bear down. And chin up, TTFN.
Look at this guy. Great job, George.
There's so many great players out there, but, there's players that look average.
Well, hold on, Dad. Hold your thought, because George's got to go.
I got
George, love you. Great job today, George.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for jumping on, bro.
The advice today, I got a list of people to look at. Thank you.
Perfect.
George Bayless.
So many players that get lost. You know what I mean? There's some great players out there that aren't on the number 1 list. And I'll give you an example, right? Edelman.
Right? Julian Edelman.
That's right. The guy that played for, the New England Patriots. And he's a quarterback. He gets out there. He's one of the great receivers in this game. And I mean that sincerely. He's probably made it the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life in that Super Bowl versus the Falcons. Unbelievable. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys that need the opportunity to get in camp. Now, that guy that's not drafted, he's got more to gain by making that team than the guy that's there and everybody knows he's great. That's that, the thing I'm talking about, the heart.
The heart.
The guy wants
heart
to make
of a lion.
He starts playing like that. And all of a sudden he's making catches. And all of a sudden, what happens? You invite him to he's there. And he's on the team. And then all of a sudden he's making contributions. So you can't overlook that. That's what the great scouts do. Like Phil, he taught me a lot. He picked up guys that you didn't even think about. This is my son I'm talking about.
That's what I do. That's why they call me DDP.
And I can do it too. I can go in the gym class. You can ask Phil this. And I can pick up kids that can play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give me to any high school and let them play a little ball, and I'm just watching them. And I'll tell you right now, that's the kid I want. That's the kid I want right there.
Keep forget we're not in love anymore.
To realize what you can do for a team, you need to have that. And I hope this coach has got that. Because sometimes you got to overrule the guys. Wait a minute. I like this guy better.
This GM is going to be the guy that's going to try to take over the North. That's his goal. He also said this is what he's looking for.
Yeah, I want to see a tough, violent, and fast team. In the draft room, we're going to label players with a Bear logo that have toughness and passion for the game. I've found through history, if you have those two things plus the skill set, you're going to go far, you're going to make the team, and also you're going to affect the culture.
You're going to affect the culture. He's talking about all the skill set. We looked at Khalil Mack today. He fits this thing. Shane was talking about Tevin Jenkins, Dieter Eisland. My dad's talking about Julian Edelman, undrafted. You find the heart. Dieter Eisland, somebody that wasn't given a shot. What's his story? He's going to write that story. I watched his tape from Yale. We broke him down, George, myself, and my dad last season. And wow, you got to like that kid. He wasn't even given a shot. He wasn't even allowed to play the center position in the offseason. I mean, he played it all offseason and then never gave the shot during the game. That's negligence. We've talked about Nagy, the course of that. We're going to be breaking all of this stuff down. The old look, like right here, and the new look on Draft Mob, breaking down all of the guys that we believe and that you as patrons say, hey, I really would love it if you guys broke down such and such from Central Arkansas. Well, we'll reach out to our guy. Shout out to Chris Harold. We truly appreciate you. And we'll get the tape and we'll actually look at the tape together as we assess all of these guys. And like I said, today's just a taste of it. There's over 300 of you. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, at the push for 1K, become a patron, www.thetapeneverlies.com. We also have swag, as you can see, me and my dad rocking it. TTNL swag. Put in the code BHL20, you get 20% off and free shipping. There, speaking of Heart of a Lion, there he is.
Hey, Riley.
Riley Strong. What's up, Riley? You ready for the Senior Bowl?
Oh, yeah, I am.
You excited about the new head coach?
Yeah, I am.
It's all about the whys. How about we show them the why, right?
Forget about the whys.
What is he going to say? What is he saying? Go ahead.
Don't be embarrassed.
I don't know what to say.
Just make fun of Phil. That's what I do.
Apparently, we might see you next weekend, buddy. Hopefully, we do.
All right.
All right.
Are you excited about the draft?
Oh, yeah, I am excited. Very excited.
Who's your favorite Bear, real quick, right now?
Darnell Mooney or Danny Trevathan.
You're still on that.
He's still hanging on that Trevathan train.
Jesus.
He's the only kid that I know that loves Danny T.
What are the whys?
What are the whys of that? It's the only thing. Here's his song.
Keep forget we're not in love anymore. I keep forget things will never be the same again.
There you go. It's never going to be the same again. We're no longer in love with Coach Nagy. The fans can't. What's that?
Who's your favorite guy in the draft?
Linderbaum.
Yeah,
Linderbaum,
that's
center from Iowa, is my favorite guy in this entire draft. I sleep at night, or before I go to sleep, I make a little prayer. Please let that man drop. Centers always drop for some reason. I don't know if he will, because now everybody's caught up to that truth. But yeah, that's my favorite player in this draft, and one of which I believe would come in here and really do damage for the Chicago Bears. It fits exactly what Ryan Poles and company are talking about. That's right, out of Iowa. Evan Wells out of Iowa. Shout out to you, Evan. But a lot of other people, Jason likes Danny T. Anyway, thank you, Riley, for jumping on today. People getting an update of you and the new coach, the new hire, Draft Mob, me and my dad here on X's with the O's, Riley Strong. Everybody go over there, patron, become a patron, because I got to go be a patron to my children as they have their laser tag party. I'm going to leave right now. I'm going to bounce out of here. I'm going to leave you. Did Riley have something else, Shane? Are you setting something up or? Oh, he can't hear me. Does Riley have some? You got to get the double headset. Bye, Riley. You got to get the double headset so I can talk to both of you.
Yeah, we'll get him hooked up.
You get that little split.
Kid's got a better setup upstairs in his room, but he's got
to
come down and steal airtime from his dad.
Like I said, sign up, become a patron, be a part of the push to be a part of the family. TTNL is family. A push to 1,000 patrons. That's our goal here. I'll leave you with this, Shane. I don't know if you have anything to add because I got to bounce too. Nothing.
No, this is our wheelhouse. We love the regular season, but this is just as big of a passion for Phil and I and for George, and I know Coach is going to be extremely involved with us moving forward in this draft process. When we get to the draft, it's a long three days for us because we cover it from the first pick to the last pick, each and every one, and break them down as they go. We were live for all 3 days. We were live every single night with different shows leading up to the draft, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We were live that entire week. So we're going to have you guys prepared. We wanted to give you this special free preview of what we do. And if you enjoy it, like I said, grab $7, go over to thetapeneverlies.com, check it out. This is the type of stuff that we do each and every week. And we're going to get very detailed in our analysis with these prospects individually, show you all 22, what's going to make them good, what's going to make them bad, how they fit our scheme, how they may not fit in what we do here. You're not going to find better coverage than what you're getting at TTNL. We have the greatest group of guys involved, along with a Hall of Fame coach on top of it. So nobody else out there can give you that content like we can.
Shane.
Well, thank you for that compliment.
I was talking about me, Coach.
All right, Shane, you can hit the end broadcast. I'm going to leave us with this. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Barlissimo. And thank you, Shane.
Great job.
Got a great job here. We started early because I got to
Takes a
go.
lot of work to find out all that stuff.
We're going to be doing
he's on
all
it
the
all
work.
time.
A lot of work, a lot of toughness, a lot of nights.
Close it out the only way we know how here at TTNL, Phil, and that's this way here.
Very good, guys. Have a beautiful day. I know I will.